Hello, everyone. My name is Occupational Click, and for me, this is kind of an odd time. It's like almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and here in New Jersey, and sometimes I might stream until 4 o'clock ish, but I don't usually start streaming now. But my pattern, for those who watch my channel, the day before my brother and I grilled, and the steaks came out pretty well, a little charred, but nice and tender, and we made some other stuff, and it was good. And I don't know if I got the itis or what happened. I was exhausted the other night. I went to bed early, for me, sometime, midnight-ish. And for some reason, I couldn't get out of bed. For somebody who does nothing, I couldn't get. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to skirt responsibility, or because I'm trying to, I'm getting older, have less energy to give a damn. It's because I've become so accustomed to just laying down and rotting. I don't know, but so I would have thought I'd been up earlier, but I just couldn't get out of bed. So I finally got out of bed sometime in the afternoon or evening, and picked up some pills. All right, reminds me to go out and get those pills. I left them in the car. And I got some pills that were, gabapentin and something else, propanolol, whatever they were. So I got these pills, and my brother and I, what we did was we had we had a couple steaks from yesterday, and we got some onion rings and French fries, or actually seasoned fries. We threw them in the oven. So it was nice, but it's like I'm up at a weird hour. I should be asleep. Like this time yesterday, I was fast asleep. For some reason, I overslept and I couldn't get out of bed. So, and I'm like, sort of like there are things I could be doing. I feel like I'm too awake to go to sleep, but too tired to want to do anything. And it's actually good. There's I think no one's here, maybe one or two people, which is great because this is more of just a response video. There were a few things I did want to discuss, and I figured, what, let me stream now while it's on my mind. I'm not even sure what to call this stream, but according to my calculations, this is my 202nd stream, all things Kimley live, so I'll find a name for it later. But there were a few things going through my mind. And I said to my brother earlier, doing a stream, he's like, he was tired. I said, okay, he's been out of it. He needs a few what we call off nights. He's not just to go his own separate way. But tonight, we made the supplements, the fries and the onion rings, and we finished the steak. I buttered up the steak, and we heated them all. And the steak was good, but so we had a nice meal. But I think after that, we were just like, So my brother, he's been working a lot, and he didn't get his regular day off. His regular day off is usually Monday, but he had to work this Monday because someone's on vacation. I forget the whole story. So he's not going to be off till Saturday. So he's doing one of these, what's it called? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like these 12-day stretches. So I know he's overtired. So he won't be off till Saturday. So I said, all right. So but there was some stuff I wanted to share. And I was hoping, I don't know, if it would, my good buddy down under DBF. No, just kidding. My good buddy, my frenemy, lover / hater / I can never hate him. James, depressed, unwanted man. I wonder if he's still awake or not. He and I actually had a little back and forth, not a phone call, but one of those, what do you call them? In the WhatsApp, those, what do you call them? Not text, but the audio messages. Not voice note, these audio messages back and forth. And I wanted to share them because it kind of ties in with just some interesting thoughts. And I texted him just now. I said, is it okay if I share these? And it's nothing overly personal, but I'm going to share them because it's nothing personal. And it was a good flow back. My brother and I were vegging, watching TV. We're finishing our steaks when I had this back and forth. And my brother didn't talk, but he agreed. He's like, yeah, that's interesting. Cause I think, I was telling James, well, it's several things I want to talk about. So I'll I think it's best just to play these audio messages, and you don't have to look at me. I'll just play them and we'll discuss. Actually, there's nothing to discuss too. This is more for me. I also want to upload a few more shrink videos. I keep saying this, but it's like, I don't know. And what else? Yeah, I don't know why I was so, bloody exhausted the other day. For someone who does nothing. It's going out of focus again. Oh my God. This is what? Okay. Good. So I think it was from a day or two ago. I forget. And he and I don't talk. We're still in touch. We're on friendly terms. Even though he blocked me that one time, we've seemingly got it back together. So every now and then I'll hear from him out of the blue. And it's, but I thought this was, pertinent to his life, my life, and just the state of affairs in general. So I'll share it. Hold on. Where the hell is it? Hold on.
Hey, how you making out with the job search? I just got back from the temp agency, and they said they'd call me back. So everybody knows that that trip, like you're right. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Yep. Keep trying, I guess. All right. Talk to you later.
So it's odd because he and I are like
job search.
It's playing mine. Hold on. Give me a sec. Where the hell?
Sure you would have a job.
Oh, it just plays back to back. I want to just pause and comment before playing. I'll play my response. No, it is weird. Maybe I'll just play the response because you didn't hear me talk, but it's kind of Dumb and I are in a similar position, but for different reasons. I'm the Spurg I'm one of these Spurgs without talent. Some Spurgs have a great talent. They're social fuck ups, but they're really good at computers or math or chess or I don't know, even in this or whatever their special talent is, that people tolerate them just for their special talent. But if you're a talentless Spurg like I am, you're a social fuck up, so you're hated, and you have no talents to bring to the table. So it's one shit job after another. And Dumb, of course, is not a Spurg. I've always said he's a failed normie. He's got his own issues, no question. It's not Spurg versus normie. There's all kinds of fuck uppery going around. So he is fucked up, but he's not a Spurg. So he never had the social problems I did. And when he was living at home in Pennsylvania, he had no problems getting or maintaining or keeping a job. And when he was out of work, it was always like a fish out of water. He was very much the workaholic. I'm a Spurg who's burned I got to apply to grocery stores for overnight positions, which I fucking hate. That's all that'll hire me. And further afield, instead of the local ones right up the road, I got to be like fucking 20 minutes out. So he and I are in the same boat, but for different reasons. So we talk about empathy. This concept of what I call, let's see here. I think it's cognitive. What empathy means, the way I understand it, empathy is not sympathy. Empathy doesn't necessarily mean feeling sorry for someone. Empathy means being able to feel what they're going through. Some people are allegedly empathic and they can feel another person's pain just like that. But there's also the cognitive empathy, which is trying to figure out what someone's going through. And I've always said with empathy, it's not just, let's say you break your leg. And, you're in a cast and then, it hurts. And you got to have surgery. Then you got to have physical therapy and it's a pain in the ass. Now it's been 10 years. 10 years on, you're more or less back to normal. Leg still bothers you, but you're more or less back to normal. If someone else breaks their leg, you can empathize with them. Now, if they're your friend, you might feel sad. I know exactly what you're going through. If they're your worst enemy, you might laugh and say, good, I know exactly what you're going through. Either way, whether you feel sorry for this person or you're happy, it doesn't matter. You've broken a leg and now they've broken a leg, so you can empathize intellectually because you've been there, done that. You actually know what it entails. So whether you feel sorry for them or not, you can now empathize with them because you have broken a leg and they've now broken a leg. So you know what lies ahead. You know what it's like to break a leg, what a pain in the ass it is. And, so you can empathize regardless of whether you feel sorry for them or not. And I think in a strange way, Dumb for the first time in his life, he was never a Spurg, never had a problem maintaining employment, providing for himself, buying his own house. Never a Spurg, never had the problems I did. Nor was he, didn't have any special. The reason I say he's not a Spurg, it's not like he had some special talent that compensated for his Spurgdom. He was basically just a normie and socially didn't piss people off. So James can now see what it's like when, let's play a little more. So he told me he's having a hard time with his job search, and I feel for him. I can empathize because I know what it's like for different reasons, but I'll just play these damn messages.
The job search isn't going well, but of course, I am an American citizen. There's nothing restricting me. I'm pretty sure you would have a job if you could have a job, because you've always been very industrious and a workaholic, a worker bee, and I mean that in a good way. So we're kind of in the same boat, but for different reasons. I'm a Spurg who's burned bridges everywhere, and you're, a hard worker, but you're in a new land where you can't work. Anyway, I don't know if you saw it. Your buddy Danny sent me a video, Dev Pike. It was about Todd apparently did some kind of upload, a brief upload, maybe.
This also there's the whole dumb job search thing. There's also this whole side thing I like to talk about too. So here you go.
You saw it, maybe you didn't. It appears to be relatively recent. He talks about turning 45. It's very short, but I might do a stream or a reaction video to it. I was curious if you saw it because it's interesting. It was basically like a little update video, but it wasn't on his channel. It was on some archive channel, so I don't know what he's doing, if he uploads sporadically or he makes a video and sends it to somebody else. But I was just curious if you saw that. And maybe I'll stream about it or make a video about it at some point. But yeah, keep up the good work, the hard work. Hope the job, the temp agency calls you back, et cetera, et cetera. And lovely to talk to you, as always. Dumb.
Yeah, it was lovely to talk to you as always, Don. But anyway, no, I know I know, like my brother and I always said, dumb is a workaholic. I don't mean it as an insult. Like me, I could this comes up. I can eat all day. This dude needs to be doing something. I think it's killing him. He's not working. But there was also a new video by Todd, which we'll talk about because that seemed interesting. I think it's legit. Some people said maybe it's AI or maybe it's just like a mashup of his voice, but I think it's legit. And Danny, Dev Pike, shared it with me on Discord. So thank you. I asked Danny how he found it, but he hasn't gotten back to me. He always ignores me on Discord, but that's okay. We'll get back to that too. But so there's like a dual session that the whole dumb having empathy for me. He's not a Spurg, but because he's in a foreign country where he's not allowed to work and they don't even count his American experience and they're afraid to touch him because he's got that bridging visa. He now knows what it's like to be in my shoes. Now it's different because, I'm an American just like him. But I'm having problems in my own country that he's now forced to have because he's a foreigner. It's like starting over. But now you can have some cognitive empathy for what it's like. Imagine if Dumb never left the country, but he struggled just to hold a job like I do socially. No one wants you. All right.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I keep applying every day. I'll just have to. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I keep applying every day. I'll just have to keep trying, and hopefully you get something as well. But I don't know. I might just give up until I have an actual visa, an actual substantive visa, because the bridging visa, it seems like the employers get scared off, even though I have work rights.
So they get scared off by this bridging visa thing. But Dumb, he's not the kind of person who can sit around for months, let alone years, not working. It's going to drive him nuts. But
it's just that seems to be the biggest thing. All the emails I got back kept saying about my right to work, even though I do. But plus I'm starting over, so they don't seem to want to accept my American experience. Even though forklifts are the same, truck driving is a little different over here. I can see why they'd be less inclined to hire someone from America who drives on the wrong side of the street, and for good reason. I just watched that just a few minutes ago, that Todd video. DBF was talking about it. He's streaming right now. He was talking about it. So I was going to post something on my channel. Like just a post, but if you're going to talk about it, that's fine. I'll just skip it because he seems to hate me anymore anyway. So, it was nice hearing from him. So.
Okay, so like two things going on. We'll talk about the new Todd video in a moment because that is interesting. But I wanted to share. I'm not trying to give too much into our personal lives, but I don't think any of this is top secret. If Dumb were on right now, I'd probably be talking to him about this. So I'd asked him, "Can I share this?" He never got back to me. I don't think there's nothing here too personal. Nothing he hasn't shared or I haven't shared. But like I said, cognitive empathy because I have these problems, but I can't blame it on being a foreigner in a different country. Even in my own country, I'm treated like fucking shit. That's what I'm trying to ask you normies to try to understand what it's like to be a talentless Spurg like me. It's like being a foreigner in another country where you're not allowed to work and all your experience is jack shit, even though you're in your own country. That's what the normies could never, empathize with. Anyway.
Well, I said I might, don't, like I told, what's his name, Doggo, don't not stream because I'm streaming. Do what you want. I didn't realize your buddy DBF, Donna's second favorite streamer after me, of course.
So if you were watching my stream a couple nights ago, Donna came on. And I said, who do you like to watch? And she said I was her favorite, followed by DBF. She still likes to watch him. I haven't watched him in months since he banned me for the third fucking time. And if I understand correctly, he now privates all his streams, so I couldn't watch him if I wanted to, but apparently DBF had streamed, and he was also aware. I became aware of the video via Dev Pike on Discord, but apparently DBF was streaming and was talking about this Todd video too. Okay, so I'm the last to know, the last to see Bigfoot.
Was on the air. Well, I said I might, don't, like I told, what's his name, Doggo, don't not stream because I'm streaming. Do what you want. I didn't realize your buddy DBF, Donna's second favorite streamer after me, of course, was on the air. But apparently, I guess a lot of people saw this, was making its rounds. I got it from Danny. But it's interesting just because, we said Bigfoot. It's good to see a Bigfoot sighting again. He's still, He's still the tie that binds, apparently.
He's
So
the
by
tie
all
that
means, do what
binds.
you got to do. And, and if you can't, because didn't you tell me you'd have to wait a couple of years for your whatever it's called, the full visa to work? You'd have to wait like 3 or 4 years before you could work. I mean, could you do something? Some kind of like crap retail job? I mean, maybe the local Walmart or whatever they call it there will take a chance. I don't know. Yeah, because it's not as major. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a bridging visa might not be as big a deal to work in some shit retail job as opposed to working in, a factory or something or a warehouse. But yeah, no, if you want to say something, by all means, do. Don't worry. Might not even stream. I was just thinking, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm glad Danny shared it. And I'll probably upload it on my channel at some point. But do what you got to do, man. And we'll talk again. Good talking to you. Best of luck. And yeah.
And yeah, we'll get to the video in a minute, but I think what I was trying to impress upon Dumb, I guess, if I don't know, I should ask him more at these visas. So he can explain more because he's bad at explaining. He's on a bridging visa. I thought he said it might take a few years before he gets whatever they call it. We'll have to ask him. What's it called? The full citizenship visa or whatever the fuck it's called. He's only on a bridging visa, and evidently marriage makes no difference. Even if you were to marry down to tomorrow, he'd still be on a bridging visa, if I understand. And I don't know how long this bridging visa lasts, but apparently I was saying, if you can't get a truck driving job, like even, I understand, like he said, they drive on the other side of the road, they might trust an American fine, but you can't even get a job in a warehouse driving a forklift. Well, maybe just work like as a cashier in fucking Walmart or whatever the Australian equivalent is. But apparently the visa, this bridging visa, is that restrictive. Here, just listen.
Well, I said I might,
All right, I'll look up for your video or stream. Yeah, I was just going to post a link to that video, but who knows? Who knows if it's even real?
I think it is. We'll check it out in a minute.
Because why isn't it on his channel? There's that AI now.
That's true, but I still think it's legit.
Maybe it was up on his channel for a few minutes and then he took it down.
Maybe.
Without us noticing. But no, I'm not going to post anything. I was just, just thinking about it. But, well, there's Reddit posts about people on bridging visas here who have the same exact problem. They tried to get.
He's gonna say even a shit retail job is impossible to get on a visa with a visa because you think to yourself, teenagers with no experience get these shit jobs. So if your American experience doesn't count, just pretend you're a teenager. Hi, I want to be a cashier. Hi, I want to mop the floor. Just have something. But apparently, according to him, the employers in Australia are very reticent with someone who's on a bridging visa.
The shittiest jobs, and they wouldn't get
even the shittiest jobs, yeah.
So, yeah, retail, whatever. So, I mean, I don't really have to work. I mean, Donna does take care of everything. I still got money. I just wanted to start working as soon as I can. But
yeah, that's the point. Like, it's not even about the money or whether Donna loves him or not. I'm happy for he was all like upset. He thought, oh, so many people want me to fail. OC is one of them. And I said, no, I'm not. Oh, I was just mind fucking. No, you weren't. You thought some people want him to fail. I'm happy for him because even though I wouldn't want his life, I wouldn't travel halfway across the world for some woman and be subject and bound to her and not be able to work. I'd want meat bucks anyway, but maybe I would be happy being a kept man. But anyway, the point is, I still think Dumb is happier having someone to be with than being alone. But there's still that workaholic in him. So yeah.
But it's just depressing.
Depressing.
They like to gaslight us, right? Because they say,
"Welcome to my world, man. You as a normie American, no one gaslit you. As a Spurg American with no talent, I experienced that in our own country. What you're experiencing only because you're a foreigner. If you had your full bridging rights or whatever, your full visa rights, work rights, you wouldn't be in this position. But welcome to Spurg country. This is what it's the discrimination. You're not a Spurg, you're a foreigner in this case. But this is the discrimination you're facing in Australia is what I, a fellow American, experience in our own country, being a talentless Spurg. So empathy. What the hell?
that we're all lazy and nobody wants to work anymore, and they got to bring in all these immigrants. Yeah, I'm an immigrant here, but to do jobs we don't want to do, and then we all want to work, and yet no one's hiring. So, or at least not hiring us. So it's like we're being told one thing, and then the reality is another, right? So it's just, it's just depressing. I can get very dark very quickly. Like it just, I don't know.
And maybe this is getting a little personal, but this is why I wanted to share this, because this might get deleted at some point. But I mean, it's, if you know who I am, you most certainly know who James is. It's, if you know who I am, you must know DUM. I don't think there's anybody who, oh yeah, I know OC, I watch OC, but who's this DUM guy? So we all know who this guy is, and he's prone to depression. When he had a job but no woman and was living by himself, he was highly depressed. Now he's got his woman, happily ever after. I'm happy for him, but there's this other depression. He's a natural worker bee. When he was unemployed, he wanted to do all these projects around his house. So the depression is still real, even if the depression over not having a woman has abated. Now there's the depression over not being able to provide, produce, do. You know what I mean? I told him
you don't have to work, but you need to work.
He needs to.
You're the worker bee type. I remember when you're on unemployment, you just spend all the time fixing your house, which, okay, you got to you're the one of those people who has to stay in motion, who has to be doing something. And that's admirable. But it's funny because, back when you were living in Pennsylvania, you had the jobs, but you didn't have a woman. Now it's the opposite. You got your woman, you're happily ever after, but it's still depressing. You're still unwanted. Now, opposite. You got your woman, but it's depressing how unwanted you are. The depressed, unwanted man who can't get a job because they don't want to touch you with your bridging visa. So that's why the name still applies. You'll always be depressed, unwanted man to me. I don't mean that to laugh at you. It's just kind of funny how you cured one form of depression to be replaced with another form of depression. You're still unwanted, but now instead of a woman, you can't get the employers. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't trade-off. So I just wanted to say that. It's kind of fitting, and not to make fun of you, just pointing out, you're still a depressed, unwanted man, not with women, but now with the employers. And that must drive you nuts, because I always said you were the worker bee. I could neat all day, as you can see me mooching off my brother here. It's going to drive you nuts, so hang in there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Depressed, unwanted man. I am kind of depressed today, but it's just very discouraging. I get turned down at these pissant jobs.
Welcome to my world.
For one reason or the other,
and I'm not a foreigner in some different country.
Visa or who knows? I don't know, but it's just dumb.
No pun intended. It's just dumb.
When you know you're more than capable of doing their shitty job, and or you have experience doing it, and you got all the credentials, licenses, whatever, and they still don't want you, and you got no criminal background, you got no...
Welcome to my world. You're not a Spurg, but now you know it's like to be a Spurg.
You still get rejected. It's like, what the fuck?
You still get rejected. What the fuck? Welcome to being Spurg. You're not a Spurg. Welcome to what we go through. Cognitive empathy.
I don't know. I'm putting in a PowerPoint or a socket in the garage.
Put an outlet in the garage. They call PowerPoints.
Yesterday I finished the car, polishing it.
He's looking for busy work.
So I'm just gonna stay busy.
Yep.
The hell with it. Well, I'll apply for some more jobs tomorrow. But it's easy to get discouraged. Yeah, some of those Reddit posts, so this one guy said he applied to hundreds. He spent 9 months on a bridging visa, couldn't get shit.
Wow.
There's just dozens and dozens of people who said the same thing. And they couldn't even get a restaurant or, like Woolies, they call it over here, is a grocery store. They'd be like, you can't get a job at Walmart. That's how bad it is. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try not to worry about it. But, yeah, thanks for talking to me. All right, peace.
Okay, we started goodbyes. Now, the reason I wanted to share that was, I guess, part of it is the cognitive empathy aspect. Also, I think DUM is one of these people who I had said once early, I was watching Dumb since the get-go, since his first channel, probably his first or second video on his original channel before he was streaming, back when he was doing videos. Most people who know Dumb know him because of his never-ending streams. Starlings flew in and settled, nested. So they know him as that guy who used to stream for hours on end. But before that, he actually just had like a regular channel where he'd post videos. And so I've been watching Dumb since the get-go. And I always said, like, had Dumb been born, let's say, 15, 20 years earlier, he'd happily be married to some frumpy wife, have his good job. He'd have a couple kids. Maybe by now they'd probably be adults, but he's the type who needed to be the regular dude. I got my woman and my little family, and I got my job. I got my sense of purpose. He was, in many ways, the American ideal, the good worker bee, but he couldn't satisfy one, getting a woman, and now that he can't satisfy the other, getting a job, being gainfully employed and having a purpose. Because, to get the woman, he had to trade off, give up that, Dumb is the kind of guy who's searching for balance. And he gave up, one thing. I don't blame him. I'm happy for him. But, he could never have both the good job and the loving wife in his own country. It was either one or the other. Have a good job, no woman in America, or go to a foreign land and have the woman, but, no job. And it's not that he's going to starve. It's just that for someone like Dumb, it must be, who would have been like the happy as a pig in shit, having his job and his purpose and having his coming home to his frumpy wife and, then have the kids and providing for them. He would have been the American ideal, the whole nuclear family. Hi. You missed what I was talking about. I spent half an hour talking about Dumb, but I'm glad I did because those might get deleted at some point, but I wanted to say it because it was a good back and forth how Dumb now has the cognitive empathy. I'm a talentless spurg. So what I experience in my own country is what he's now experiencing, not because he's abnormal socially, but because he's a foreigner and he doesn't have the same rights as the natives. But it's the same end result. Now you know what it's like imagine being a spurg, Dumb, or anyone else, and having to suffer that regardless of paperwork or red tape or visas, just being in your own country, not being able to hold a job or being forced out of every fucking job you've ever had. So yes. Charge this up. Okay. But good morning. There's really not much. This is almost like a private video. Maybe I should have privated this stream and then made it public. I'm happy to talk to people, but I knew because at this hour, it's such a weird hour for me. I knew no one would be here, which is perfect because I wanted to get this out. I wanted to talk. So I'm glad we addressed Dumb and how I feel for him, but now he knows what it's like to be in my shoes. But again, I don't have it's not like, I'm forced into this position because I'm in a different country and visas and paperwork. But now it's like imagine if you couldn't get that truck driver job in America, or you're forced out of every job you ever had in America. You were still applying for shit jobs and they wouldn't touch you in America. Not because of a visa or any shit like that. You're in your own country and you're still having these problems. So that's what we call cognitive empathy. Now, being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes because you've been there yourself for different reasons in Dumb's case than mine. But welcome to my world, James. All right. Now, speaking of a talented spurg, someone who actually did have talent and was able to provide for himself, here's what happened. So on Discord, I don't go on Discord too often, but I logged into Discord and I had gotten a nice message from Pike, Danny, whatever he calls himself. I forget his name on Discord, and he sent me a video and I responded to him, but I guess he was offline. I said, apparently, bear with me while I give you the facts of our most recent Bigfoot sighting. There was Todd Thundercock, a.k.a. Grotesque Subhuman, my hero. I'm still very much a Toddist. He abandoned us, went bye-bye. Okay, fine, fair enough. He still has a YouTube channel, which I think he calls Mr. X Guy or Mr. X Incognito. No content whatsoever. All his old content he deleted or hid or privated. And as far as I know, he's never posted anything. This video that Danny sent me appears to be legit. It appears to be a relatively new Todd video. It's very short. And the link I clicked on that Danny sent me was to a YouTube site, not Todd's page, some archivist. I'll show you in a minute, an archivist. And the archivist on YouTube says flat out, I'm not Todd. And he cites his source. He got the video from Rumble. But when I went to Rumble, I saw the video on it's both on YouTube and this archivist's channel that Pike sent me. But it's also on Rumble, but that also appears to be some archive channel. So I don't know, like Dumb was saying, none of us saw this video on his channel. Did it pop up briefly? Did he make the video and send it to someone. He said he's got that hang up, Todd. I'm done with YouTube. I can't do anything on my YouTube channel. It just sits there. I can't. It's like this weird line he's drawn for himself. I can't upload on my own channel. I'm done with that. Maybe he sent it to someone else. But the video seems legit, and I wanted to share it. I know people were saying, "Oh, it could be AI, it could be this or that." Apparently, DUM was aware of it. I don't know. I should ask him. How did he become aware of it? That's right. He said he was watching DBF, amazingly. And DBF, I don't know how DBF became. I didn't watch DBF. And DBF privates the stream. So somehow DBF was aware of it. I heard it from Danny. Maybe I'm the last to know. But before I started streaming, I saw, what's his name? My buddy in Oregon, Off Grid Live. He was falling asleep, and he's like, "Oh, see, you're still up. You're like 6 hours, 3 hours, whatever, 3 hours ahead." It's like, going 4. I said to him, "I said, yeah, but just check this video out." And he said, "Yeah, it seems legit." So I'll share it too, just because he's still the tie that binds. If me and DUM and Off Grid takes interest, and DBF is watching, Todd still has that magnetism. He's still the power that binds. So let's go to. I'll share it. What I should do. Maybe I should download it or record it and put it on my channel so we have a better place of being archived. Because let's go. Let's take a look here. All right. I'm sorry. More of my manners. How are you, David Lee Rothschild? I've always said I love that name. You're one of the best names. David Lee Rothschild. Brilliant. I do love your name if you're still watching. Great name. So we talked about DUM and his situation, which mirrors mine, but for different reasons. And we talked about cognitive empathy. Now let's go into part 2, which is I don't know, maybe in the last note. This video was made, if this is legit, it appears to have been made within the past month. So let's see. Here's the archive channel. Let's see. How do I share screen? Okay, the name of this channel is called... this name sounds familiar. Even though it's called Chronicles of Picnic, this here, Nordic Pill. Nordic Pill sounds very familiar. I've heard of him before. And apparently, most of Nordic Pill's archive, if we're looking closely here, it's some guy. These are old videos. See, don't let the dates fool you. The most recent video was uploaded 13 hours ago, as of this stream. 13 hours ago. But the video was dated from 2019, January of 19, which I think is an archive of someone who calls himself George's Journal. I don't know who George's Journal is. He looks kind of familiar. I wasn't really interested. Most of this appears to be an archive. So I don't believe Nordic Pill is George himself. I think Nordic Pill took it upon himself to archive George, and somewhere mixed in with all these archives of George's Journal or George's Chronicles, somewhere mixed in here is a relatively new Todd video from Rumble. So let's check that out. And again, if you guys know who this George guy is, that's cool. I just, I don't know. So, okay. So this, I'll post. Here, let's do this. This channel is an archive of George's Journal videos. It is not run by George and has no, it is not run, where is this? It is not run by George's Journal, has no affiliation with him. The purpose of this channel is to solely to re-upload and preserve the videos for archival and reference purposes. I do admire this Nordic Pill's drive to archive. And I guess this particular channel of his, Chronicles of Picnic, is mainly dedicated to archiving old videos by someone named George's Journal. But in the annals of this George's Journal, now I'm not going to scroll and find it. I already opened it in a separate tab. In the annals, and I'll share the link, this archivist, Nordic Pill, Chronicles of Picnic, also has what appears to be a new video by our Lord and Savior. It's always exciting to hear from him. Like I said, he's still the tie that binds. I mean, if he's done with YouTube, I can respect that. But it's always good to hear from Todd. And like I said, some people might say it's AI or they took his voice and it was like a mashup robot. It seems legit. So let's take a look. If you ever want to click on that, there's the link. I guess I'll put it in the description on know the stream. But let's peruse that. Again, how do I share screen? And again, thank you for Dev Pike for sharing this. I wonder where you got it from. And again, this was originally, let's take a look here. This currently, what I'm showing you here, the screen I'm sharing, is Chronicles of Picnic, Nordic Pill. Chronicles of Picnic, Nordic Pill, who predominantly archived someone named George's Journal. But about 2 weeks ago, he uploaded this video. We don't know how old the video is, but it's been up on this channel for 2 weeks. And he says right here, I'm not Todd. This Nordic Pill guy, I'm not Todd. And he cites the source as a Rumble account, Cluster Beekeeper. Now, I won't go nuts trying to share that stream either, But if you go to Cluster Beekeeper and Rumble, there's no indication that's Todd either. That's some other archive channel with some e-girl you might recognize. So I'm like, huh. So who knows? That's why I was telling with DUM. It's like, did Todd upload this on his own channel briefly and it was only up very briefly and only a limited few got to see it? Does he have an alternate channel that only some are privy to? Did he, I don't know, share it or say, what's it called? Like these, I forget what you call it. You can like one of these programs, Google Docs or one of these doc programs where you can share videos and shit. He shared it with someone else. I don't know, but it seems legit. And I know his birthday's in September sometime. I don't know the exact date. He was born September of AD. So he talks about turning 25. So this is within the past month. So what the hell? Let's watch and maybe respond. Because it's always good when Bigfoot comes along. Trying to make this look. I wonder if this looks better on Rumble, but I'm going to do it here. Hold on. Stop. Christ, stop.
Here's your annual video.
My mouse is all screwed up. So we'll watch this. Okay, there we go. So let's watch this. Is everybody watching this again? Again. Dev Pike sent me the link. It appears to be this guy, Nordic Pill, who is an archivist. And he got this from Rumble, but even the Rumble account doesn't seem to be Todd's personal account. Okay, so let's begin. Oh, and maybe I'm the last to know. Maybe you guys all saw this. Thank you, Danny, for sharing. But I want to share it here just because even if I am the last to know, this hasn't gotten much exposure. So I like to expose it because, hell, I'm still very much a Toddist. The man is still my hero. I don't blame him for wanting, Let's watch the video. Wait, my mistake. Let's watch the video.
Hi.
Hi.
Here's your annual video. Looks are the only thing. Nothing matters. Nothing changes. Well, I guess some things change. I just get older and uglier every day. I just turned 45 years old. Awesome.
Now, if this is real, it checks out. He would have turned 45 a few weeks. I don't know his exact birthday, but it's sometime in September. So within the past month or so. And this appears to have been uploaded on Rumble about 30 days ago. So it seems legit. So he's talking about he's just turned 45. So this would be current.
So yes, things do change. Since I'm just getting uglier by the day, I'm hated more. Hated more each day for the crime of hate speech for existing. Without a chiseled jaw, no protruded maxilla, Norwood like 100 now, thin zygomatic bone.
So I don't know how good the audio is, but he's listing a bunch of problems. Talks about how he's Norwooding to 100. Man, I wonder what that's like. I should turn the fan this way and open the window and get that beautiful breeze on my hair. But I guess, like I was telling my brother, we got to count our blessings. Like, I got a full head of hair, but I always said Todd, he mogs us with height. I never met Todd in real life, but I met a man who met him, and that guy was telling me, oh yeah, he's a monster. This dude that I met in real life said he was 6 foot something, and he and I were like looking each other in the eye. So if he considers me average height and he considers Todd a monster, then yes, I believe Todd's a monster, because this dude I met in real life, I thought he would be big, but he was like my height. And he's like, Todd's a monster. So Todd at least has height, guys. I said to my brother, Click, you're a manlet. But could you imagine if you didn't have your hair? At least count your blessings. You got your hair. Todd's got his height. Imagine being a manlet who's balding. You'd be Cyrex, But Cyrex, of course, I think he's got mental problems too. And I always felt bad for the way they went after Cyrex. But you look at Cyrex. He's a manlet, bald, and he's mentally retarded. And then they still went after him. They relentlessly picked on him. So at least count your blessings. I know it sounds kind of blue pillish, but at least Todd's got his height. Thank God I still have a full head of hair. A lot of men my age can't say that. Okay, but anyway, I'm just trying to put a little happy, positive spin, because he is a tall motherfucker.
Broken eyes. And I don't have a 12-inch Coke can dong. So that's hate speech.
Oh, that's another thing I just say about him. It was kind of amazing. One thing for a man his age, like I say, for a man my age, I got a lot of hair. For a man his age, he had quite the libido. He was talking about how he would, masturbate multiple times per day. He actually went online and bought pills illegally to suppress his libido. So, his two blessings. One, he's very tall. Most men are not 6'4". least not in our generation. White men of our generation, no. And the fact that he was still that horny in his mid-40s is kind of impressive because I'm not. I can't masturbate the way I did when I was a teenager, and I don't think most of us can. So he still had a pretty good libido and height. I guess you could say the libido was kind of a curse. But, I guess his blessings were he's much taller and apparently much more hornier than the average 45-year-old male. All right, let's continue.
Probably one of these days, there's going to be some rainbow-haired, quintessexual, just come up to me and just shoot me.
Ew! Bigot! Hate speech! Kill him!
Yeah. That'll come soon enough. That's the only thing that changes in our clown world. So, yeah. I have nothing else to say. I just want to be left alone. My cope in life is just making my life as easy as possible.
Respectable.
And part of that is not having an online footprint. I mean, thankfully, I'm just so ugly and unimportant that despite being fully doxxed, nobody cares.
Nah. Well, hold
nobody
on.
ever bothered me.
I wouldn't say I don't care. Well, I kind of don't care, but I kind of do. I don't want to bother the guy. If he wants to be left alone, I'll leave him alone. But if I ever do make a pilgrimage to Buffalo, I'll walk these same trails. But I don't have the time or the money to do that now. That'll be my celebration if and when I get meat bucks next year. But yeah, most people. Well, DUM did go to see him, right?
I mean, except one guy, but that was it.
One guy came to see him. Yeah, DUM. I met the man who met Todd. Meeting my brother was exciting. I may never meet Todd, but the most exciting thing about meeting DUM wasn't the cheeseburger or seeing his house or going for a ride or streaming with him. No, the most exciting thing about meeting James was I met the man who met Todd in real life. So
I just want the state to give me money, and I want to be left alone.
I already just said, okay, that's good. I want the state. This is why I'm still very much a Toddist. He's still very based. I still love the man. Even if he pops up, once in a blue moon with a bullshit video, the aspirations are still at their core. With James, it was like, okay, he's like a nice guy. He seems like a guy you can grab a burger with, be all silly with, like a buddy, false buddy thing. Todd was never that for me. He was never my false buddy. He was like the great philosopher, the job counselor I wish I'd had when I was a teenager.
Because I'm ugly and nothing matters.
Right. Ugly and nothing matters.
And this ugly, hated garbage. So
that's why I lay down and rot, why I can't get out of fucking bed. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck it. I mean, yeah, I know intellectually I can't keep mooching off my brother. I need to get my meat bucks. But it's like, I feel the same. I feel defeated. Like, fuck it. What's the point? I can't even have the drive I did in my more naive younger days.
I'm ugly and nothing matters.
I'm ugly and, yeah.
And this ugly, hated garbage. So
likewise.
Might as well just try to make life as easy as possible. Since I'm 45 now, I have like max 20 years. As I said before, I plan on killing myself at 60. I'll probably stand by that. Maybe 65 is as far as I'd go.
No, he said he wanted to off himself at 60. But now that he's 45, well, maybe 65. I wonder when he turns 50, 65, maybe 70. I wonder, how serious. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but there's that I do question. Because I understand, you get old. I've watched my parents. My father had the stroke. I watched my mother. I look at them, what a burden they fucking are, unto themselves and unto me. And is it worth it? And I won't have anybody. So I relate to the sentiment. But there's that sense of, well, I said I would off myself. I would Sudoku at 60, maybe 65 now that I'm 45. When he turns 50, hey, fam, it's been 5 years. Yeah, I'm going to off myself at 65. Well, maybe 70. They keep bumping the age up, but all right.
Because what's the point beyond that? So
fair enough, though. What do you got?
Yeah, that's it. I just want to be left alone. So that's it. Bye.
Yeah, he wants to be left alone. There's the one thing I want to go back to. He just wants to be left alone.
Despite being fully doxxed, nobody cares.
No one cares. But I know where,
nobody ever bothered me. I mean, except one guy, but that was it. So, yeah. I just want the state to give me money, and I want to be left alone.
I just want this that's why I'm still very much a Toddist. I just want the state to give me money and be left alone. I'm a Toddist. Now, I was watching the video. Okay. Yes, I addressed you. You missed the first half. Well, about 45 minutes. The first half hour, I played some nice back and forths with DUM. DUM, like I do, he's struggling to find a job, but for different reasons. I, because I'm a talentless spurg. Him, because he's in a foreign country and they don't, like his bridging visa and respect his American experience. So we talked about DUM, and then I gave you credit where credit was due. But like I said, this video you sent me, Dev Pike, Danny, you sent me on Discord. I asked you, where'd you get it from? Because the guy, what's his name again? Christ, what was his name? Nordic Pill. Nordic Pill flat out says, I'm an archivist. Most of his videos are for some other guy named George's Journal. This was sort of mixed in with it. Nordic Pill says, I'm not Todd. I got it from Rumble. I did find the Rumble account, but it was also like an archive page. So was this video ever on Todd's channel? Did he upload it to some docu-drop thing and someone else uploaded it for him? Because he's all, oh, where did this video come from? How'd you find out about it? Well, you got to start answering the questions here. Maybe, I'm not sure. It was never, I did a reaction to some,
The job search isn't going well, but of course, I am an American citizen. There's nothing restricting me. I'm pretty sure you would have a job if you could have a job, because you've always been very industrious and a workaholic, a worker bee, and I mean that in a good way. So we're kind of in the same boat, but for different reasons. I'm a talentless spurg. What's his name? Doggo. You don't have to work, but you need to work. You're the worker bee type. I remember when you're on unemployment, you just spend all the time fixing your house, which, okay, you got to you're one of those people who has to stay in motion, who has to be doing something. And that's admirable. But it's funny because, back when you were living in Pennsylvania,
damn.
Now it's the opposite. You got your woman, you're happily ever after, but it's still depressing. You're still unwanted. Now, opposite. You got your woman, but it's depressing. And that's admirable. But it's funny because, back when you were living in Pennsylvania, you had the jobs, but you didn't have a woman. Now it's the opposite. You got your woman, you're happily ever after, but it's still depressing. You're still unwanted. Now, opposite. You got your woman, but it's depressing how unwanted you are. The depressed, unwanted man who can't get a job because they don't want to touch you with your bridging visa. So that's why the name still applies. You'll always be depressed, unwanted man to me. I don't mean that to laugh at you. It's just kind of funny how...
I thought it was interesting how it's DUM never got that balance. He wanted a woman and he was a worker bee. Now he when he had the job, he had no woman. He was depressed. When he was unemployed, he wanted to do work all the time. Now he's got his woman, but he, can't get the job. So DUM is still searching for that balance. It is, I understand, I can empathize with him, even though I could meet all day and mooch off Brother Click, which is bad. I can still, I know the type he is, cognitive empathy. I can understand that he's very much a worker bee who needs to be working to have purpose. He's glad he got the woman. Check that box off. No longer depressed and unwanted on the female front, but now he's depressed and unwanted on the employer front, the job front, for the first time in his life. Anyway, I don't know if I want to bring people on because I wasn't going to be on too long. I'm up later than normal. It's like, God, it's 4:30, over 4:30. I had such an erratic sleep last night. But I guess I can bring you on briefly, but I might have to cut you off because I don't know how long I'm going to go on. This wasn't going to be a long stream. But I did, of course, let's watch it one more time because, it's always nice. I still say he's the tie that binds. Well, both. He binds us and he makes us bond with each other. DUM saw the video. Thank you for sharing the video, Dev. Apparently, DBF also saw it because DBF was streaming and DUM was watching him. He shared that with me. I'm not going to replay all that. So, but it's like I'm the last to know. But it's good to share because I think this needs more exposure because, hey, it's always good when you're walking through the woods, and Bigfoot pops out. So, yes, let's do one more. And I think it's legit because I do know he would have turned 45 in the past month. So this seems legit.
Hi. Here's your annual video.
Good. Annual address. The Queen's annual address. The King of the Spurg's annual address.
Nothing matters. Nothing changes.
No.
Well, I guess some things change. I just get older and uglier every day. I just turned 45 years old. Awesome. So, yes, things do change. Since I'm just getting uglier by the day, I'm hated more.
Well, I've always been hated. The fact that he wasn't hated so much in his younger days, again, because he had the special talent. He probably was hated, but he was tolerated because he's a tall fag and he was very good with computers. He had the height and the skill that was able to carry him.
Hated more each day. for the crowd.
And I've got the hair. Let's count our blessings. Someone with his hairline and my brother's height would be like Cyrex. And you saw what they did to Cyrex.
Crime of hate speech for existing. Without a chiseled jaw, no protruded maxilla. Norwood like 100 now.
Oh, let the breeze blow through my beautiful.
Thin zygomatic bone.
Yeah.
Broken eyes. And I don't have a 12-inch Coke can dong. So that's hate.
So ditto on everything except I don't have the Norwooding problem, but I don't, have your height privilege. So, okay, those two canceling out. Everything else I can relate to. He also fails to mention he's a Spurg. Maybe his Spurgdom doesn't affect him the way it does me because he had the special talent and the height, but I don't know.
Hate speech. Probably one of these days there's going to be some rainbow-haired, quintessential. Like, come up to me and just shoot me.
Ew! Bigot! Hate speech! Kill him!
Yeah. That'll come soon enough.
I've always wondered. Well, I should say maybe kind of worried, but I guess you call that a lean-to. It's not a true teepee. It's a lean-to of sticks. Did a bunch of kids make that, or is it the groundskeepers when they clear out some of the brush and they just sort of like pile it there? It's their pile because there's always that that lean-to bunch of sticks and branches piled up in that pyramidal shape. I wonder who did that. Was it some kids? Was it some clean up the trail volunteers? Is it the workers? They just anytime there are loose branches on the path, they throw them there. I wonder. That's just side note. Maybe he can answer that.
That's the only thing that changes in our clown world.
Yep. It is a clown world.
So, yeah. I have nothing else to say. I just want to be left alone.
Again, admirable.
My cope in life is just making my life as easy as possible.
My goal. I don't want to be a workaholic halfway across the world, bound to some woman. I just want to make my life as easy as fucking possible. Amen. Amen.
And part of that is not having an online footprint. I mean, thankfully, I'm just...
Well, that's his hang-up shit. That's my mouse is going to fuck up. That's his hang-up, the whole, it's all or nothing. Either I'm on YouTube or I'm not. It's like, you can leave your old shit up. You can stop streaming, stop making videos, just leave your shit up or make a video sporadically, but he's got some weird hang-up. That's his... I got my own Spurg hang-ups. That's his hang-up. I don't have that hang-up, but...
I mean, except one guy, but that was a...
Oh,
my life as easy as possible.
make life easier.
And part of that is not having an online footprint. I mean, thankfully, I'm just so ugly and unimportant that despite like being fully doxxed, nobody cares.
Also, because he's so tall and so old at this point, he's probably seen mostly as some harmless old man. He's fortunate to live in a suburban, predominantly white area where the kids might say, "Oh, that guy's weird," but we'll leave him alone. If he was in fucking Buffalo where he grew up, not so much where his parents are now, but in the old, Deschler Street, he'd be like the white boy surrounded by niggers and Arabs. So he's very lucky to live in a quiet, prosperous white suburb where people will think that guy's weird, but we have manners and respect, and we'll just ignore him as the weirdo. No one's going to fuck with him in Amherst. He's very lucky.
Like, nobody ever bothered me. I mean, except one guy, but that was it.
One guy, James, dumb. Oh,
So,
bird feeder. That's a nice bird feeder.
Yeah.
Again,
I just wanted to...
the trail maintenance people put that up, or did some, Boy Scout troop put that there? I don't know.
want the state to give me money, and I want to be left alone.
Yeah, this is why I'm still a 3-minute video, not even. I just want the state to give me money and be left alone. A fucking man. And this is why he's my fucking hero. I'm a Todd. This guy is my fucking hero.
Because I'm ugly and nothing matters.
Correct.
And this ugly, hated garbage.
Yep.
So
Yes, welcome. Yeah. I wish he had
might as
said,
well just try to make...
hey, you want to be in the army, you want to be a plumber, you want to go to business, you want to be an electrician, but if you're ugly, spur garbage, here, this is the neat booth. I wish he was the fucking guidance counselor or career counselor I never had.
Make life as easy as possible. Since I'm 45 now, I have like a max 20 years. As I said before, I plan on killing myself at 60. I'll probably stand by that.
And I can understand the desire to off yourself. He has no kids to care for him, and he's getting older and weaker. Like I said, my parents, blah, blah, blah. Part of me does criticize, well, you said 60, now 65, because you're 45. The closer you get, you add another 5 years. At 50, he'll be saying, yeah, I'm going to off myself at 65, maybe 70. I will criticize him
maybe
for that.
65 is as far as
maybe 60. 5 years from now, maybe 70.
Because what's the point beyond then? So.
And I know I'm repetitive and redundant, but I'm so happy to see a Bigfoot. I'm like, what? I feel like I'm walking through these woods and it's Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's it. I just want to be left alone. So
fair enough.
That's it. Bye.
But I will still critique and comment. Okay. All right. Very good. Let me post that. Yes. Hold on. I have. Let me provide it again. Well, you already have this link. There we go. If anyone wants to go back and watch, you can just click this link in my chat and you can go watch again. It's on Nordic Pill's archival channel. He got it from Rumble, but the Rumble source also appears to be archival. And I don't want to be on all fucking night because I started later and it's going on. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a beer or two and maybe we'll bring Denny on. Believe it or not, I've always been a very good actor in the sense that people assume I'm stupid, so I can play stupid, and they run with it. Yes, I know what link you're talking about. I don't know if I want to talk to you right now, but I'll bring you on briefly. But I have to cut you off. All right, I'm going to get a beer, and then I'll provide a link, perhaps. Don't go away. Stay tuned or not. So the highlight, well, I started out the stream sharing my my DUM exchange. I asked him permission. He never got back to me. I said, fuck it. I think it's fair. So I enjoyed doing that. I really enjoyed watching the Todd video. But now we're like dipping. So this is Act 3, and I might kick you off early because I was only going to stream for like an hour. I didn't think anyone would be here. All right, so in a minute. Let's see. Well, I'm going to share some more. Okay, so we did DUM, which was okay. We did DUM. We rose to the climax of Todd, and now we're going to Danny territory. But all right, that answer. Okay, if I cut you off, don't be offended. I'm just tired, and I started later. I know for you, it's because you're what? What time? Let's see. It's going on 10 in the morning, and you're an early bird apparently. So for you, you're already a sync. I'm sorry, sync. You made me get sync. Freudian slip. A stream for the Euro cells, but I'm like, I should be in bed. I adjust my pattern, etc. Yeah, close enough. It's 4:50 for me. Okay, I said what 10 a.m. In 10 minutes it'll be 10 a.m. So okay, this isn't going to go well. But here's Act 3, everybody. But all right, let's talk. Fine, come on briefly. If I kick you off, I kick you off. Don't be offended. I don't want to be on too much longer. Hello. I was gonna do. I actually thought maybe I should just make this a private stream. Said like a video almost. Said my piece and then made it public afterwards, or just done it as a video. But I figured no one's gonna be online right now, so I could exist in peace. But there's always some starling who wants to flutter in. All right, let's see what's going on here. Hello. What?
Yeah, I'm repeating what you did. What
All right.
I know the source of the video, but you don't seem to acknowledge his existence. So I'm going to give props where it's due. Aiden provided the.
Okay, well, first, I can't. How's my volume? Because you're kind of low. Is there any way for you to raise your volume just slightly? Because I can barely hear you.
My volume is fine, right?
It may be fine for you. I can't hear you. So your volume isn't fine for me or the audience here.
Surely that's okay, isn't it?
Not really. I can't hear you. I'll kick you off. No, Jenny. Okay, it's fine.
No.
All right. So I wish Aiden had sent me that link. If he wants to make himself useful, he could have sent me that link. But my question, because I'm purely curious. I like timelines. I'm a Spurg. I like to look into things. Nordic Pill. The video I just watched was on Nordic Pill's channel. He's an archivist. He says, I'm not Todd. He apparently got the video from Rumble, but that was so. Where's the original source? Was this ever on Todd's channel? Did Todd send it to somebody? Like, how did this? And give me some backstory. 'Cause I'm curious. Well, it should be like on his channel for people to watch and enjoy. But we've got to get it like third or fourth hand. From me, via from you, via from Aiden, via from some Nordic Pill, via from some weird Rumble channel. So what's the backstory here, man?
No idea what the backstory is. I think Todd released the video, then pulled it because of Spurg.
But how long would you say it was up for? 24 hours? Not even, because I didn't get any alerts. Was it up for like,
and then someone's captured it very quickly.
So someone was there, yeah. Because I didn't get. I think I'm still subscribed. Well, unless he has an alternate channel we don't know about. So it's not showing up on his current Mr. X Incognito. It's showing up on some other channel. Because I had no idea. So I wonder. Kudos to whoever managed to capture that. What's the point of doing an address video? Here's your yearly address. Cool. If the public can't even enjoy it, so it's what the fuck, content creator.
Todd is a narky, so he doesn't really care what he's not God.
I think, like I said, he has this bizarre, weird hang-up. It's all or not. It's either I'm on YouTube or I delete in private everything and I can't be. It's either I have a presence or I don't.
It's also I want to keep he's dark triad maxing. I want to keep them guessing, bro. I'm edgy. I want to keep them real. It's like the partner that beats his wife. I want to keep them guessing. I'm the bad boy, bro. Yeah, it's pathetic. You're not a bad boy. You're a fucking incel that's been sent their own way. It's not.
Yeah, but you might be right. Okay, stop. You might be right. My only gripe is the video, if it's legit, and it seems to be, he doesn't seem like he's trying to avoid us. He seems like he's trying to say, hi, fam, here's your yearly video. So the way he presents the video doesn't align with this dark triad thing. It's like he wanted us to see it, but then, okay, wait. When he changed his mind, he quit.
Yeah, that's the point. He had a moment of weakness, then suddenly went back to Narky again, right?
But how is it weakness? That was a good video. I enjoyed watching it. I just want the state to give me money and leave me alone. Amen, brother. I mean, what's so?
You can be a nihilist and be a nice guy, or try and help people. The guy ain't nice. He's been corrupt. He's been warped by the world, right? He's allowed himself to be embittered by the, which is understandable. But if you go that far, then no one's going to like you. No one's going to be your friend. You don't deserve. It's like a bit like DBF. The guy's an absolute. The guy's sitting in bed, streaming. That was the last stream, and he expects people to watch him. Okay, what value are you providing? It's all huge narcissism. I don't get it. Anyway,
people don't like me at all, but I still leave my shit up. I don't care. I'm not trying to hide anything from anybody.
Don't you think Todd sounded affected in that? He sounded drunk or on drugs. Something was off. Listen to his slur. He wasn't right. That's my opinion. What do you think? Play it back.
I didn't necessarily pick up on that. It's possible. He claims he doesn't drink unless he's taking alcohol. I don't think he's a drinker. Unless, I don't know. He did take, remember, he went online. He claims he bought a bunch of pills or something to suppress his libido because he was so horny. That might have had dire consequences because most men in their 40s are trying to buy pills to increase their libido, to have sex with their wives. He had the opposite problem, apparently. No wife, but he was super duper horny, masturbating multiple times a day, that he took pills to kill his libido, and maybe that caught up with him. Do you know who Ice Cat is? Ice Cat or Dead Cat or whatever he calls himself, Fire Cat? He's one of yours, a Briton. You know who Ice Cat is?
Smelly Cat. No, I don't know who that is.
Well, I'll have to show one of his videos. He used to come on Todd's panels a lot.
I don't like punching down on single men. So
no, I'm not. What I'm trying to say is I'll share a video. Ice Cat, Dead Cat, Fire. He's called himself different things. He's from England. His father's an Englishman. His mother's Japanese. So he's, what do you call it, a Hapa, a Eurasian. and he really fell apart. He didn't really elaborate. He went nuts in public. He showed a video where he was talking. He was in his kitchen talking about. I was taken by the. He was forcefully injected. He was giving forceful injections of antipsychotics, and you can see how he's really deteriorated. And it's sad. I actually feel bad for the guy. Even though he's off his antipsychotics now, there are permanent effects, and it's possible that Todd did something that permanently affected how he turned. Yes, Denmark guy, you can come on too. If Denmark guy wants to join us, he disappeared. Denmark guy, if you want to come on, just you can come back. You see the link. I was saying. So I'm using Death Cat, whatever he calls himself, Death Cat, Ice Cat, British guy, half Japanese. I'm using him as an example of someone who, even though he's done with his forced injections by the NHS, or I think he spurred out in public, had a meltdown, and was forcibly injected. He's still permanently screwed. So it's possible that Todd is also permanently affected by whatever drugs he took.
That's a good take. I mean, obviously, if you do, everyone says, cannabis is good, bro. But actually, if you look into it, the long-term effects are fucking awful. You're basically damaging your brain over time.
Well, you're telling this to the guy who drinks daily and vapes. Tobacco and alcohol aren't good for you either. So, yeah, I mean, I can't be a hypocrite. But no one says it's good for you. People say alcohol is bad. You're right. People are saying that cannabis is like this wonder drug. Well, no, it's not. It's just another cope. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I don't pretend this is good for me, but yeah.
If you chronically, it's only because of the money hype where the stocks, it's all it's all like a military industrial complex feeding big business, but which have jumped all over it. If you've seen in stock market, yeah. Anyway, so. I mean, alcohol's far better. I mean, cannabis, you can fuck yourself up in a couple of years. You can cause psychotic. You can cause heavy brain damage.
I know the pro pot cultists will say that's just propaganda. I like anything else. There's some people. Let me tell you, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if you call it, what Tylenol is? You might call it something different in England. Aspirin, Tylenol, these basic over-the-counter painkillers, light medicines. There are some people who cannot take Tylenol. Something as basic and harmless, innocuous as Tylenol. There might be some people who just can't handle marijuana. It fucks them up. So no one drug is a wonder cure. If there are people who can't take basic, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the British terms are. But if you go to an American drugstore and over the counter, no prescription, you buy a Tylenol or a Bufferin or an aspirin. They're fairly harmless. They don't, the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. But there are a few people who can't handle them. And it's like that with any drug. Some people have a drink or two and they fall apart, whereas I can drink all day. Others take a puff of marijuana and they're all fucked up. But yeah, so I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But I'm saying that I think chronic use over time fucks everyone up on a biological level, right? But
you can argue being a spurg or being a fuck up or being an incel or being a weirdo or being an outcast, that fucks you up too, just mentally long term. So regardless, you're gonna be in this boat anyway. If you're, whether you do drugs or not.
You can induce schizophrenia and a lot of different mental health problems. I've seen it firsthand. I don't really care what these spurgers say. Man, it's okay, man. Just take it. I've seen it fuck someone up. It completely. They become, schizo. They're divorced.
Yes, it can trigger latent schizophrenia in those who are predisposed. The cannabis binders or receptor, whatever it's called, the receptives, they bind to the nerves and they can trigger those who have latent schizophrenia to go full blown schizophrenic. Yes, that kind of does happen. It may be overhyped, but to say it doesn't happen is a lie because it does. Like anything else, some people can't take Tylenol. Something as harmless as some people can't. Some people are allergic to chocolate. A little chocolate bar, they drop dead. So even if a lot of people take marijuana, there's always going to be people who are affected negatively by marijuana, by alcohol, by chocolate, by whatever. Yeah,
but it's not just that. It's the mental effects. I mean, it's not just the schizo edge cases. It's if you take it in great quantities or chronically, it's basically degrading the brain over time. You could argue drinking will take a longer time to fuck you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Higher risk of cancer, etc., etc. But remember, people, like you said, people aren't pushing alcohol as this cure for something. everyone knows that it's a poison, right?
Right.
So
Yes, you're right. They're pushing marijuana, another poison, as if it's like, the wonder drug. I don't know what you call it in Britain, but the whole snake oil salesman, this will cure what ails you. Take this, this wonderful tonic and you'll be saved. Yeah.
But
I
also,
agree.
it's symptomatic of kind of the public's increasing both delusion and kind of brain dead anger, where they cannot decipher fact from reality. They're buying into this shit. Normies are full in. By the way, it's, in my opinion, this is symptomatic of the the failing of fact versus reality. They're actually buying into this shit. Like, they're pumping it up. These people are really retarded. It's not the case is closed now for me. I mean, Well,
we're gonna talk to Denmark guy in a minute. We'll get your point. I want to say I saw something on the news. There's a guy who wrote a book. I love the title. It was called An Abundance of Caution. An Abundance of Caution. And he was saying we had that during COVID-19, but also for years. Oh no, there might be a peanut allergy. Don't give kids peanuts. They're saying now that if a child is genetically predisposed to a peanut allergy, the best thing to do is to introduce them to small doses of peanuts or peanut butter to build a tolerance. Whereas medical doctors say, keep them away from peanuts altogether. So the kids weren't exposed to peanuts. And now if they're sitting next to someone and the person has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or they open up a Snickers candy bar or a Payday bar, they're so allergic they drop dead. So in other words, you need to build some kind of tolerance. But like you said, the general public was taught, oh no, peanut allergy is bad, when they should have been giving these kids exposure to peanuts. Same thing with marijuana as some kind of wonder drug. So yes, I just wanted to share that.
Do you have peanut allergy?
I do not. No, I don't. No.
Okay, so why don't you create an Amazon wish list and add like 5 kilograms of peanut butter, and then I'll buy it with God's will.
Well, if you buy me the peanut butter, then Danny's got to buy me the jelly or the jam, because I can't complete the sandwich, and someone's got to buy me. Who's going to buy me the bread? What do you think?
Yeah, we are here now. We have come here to this congregation. This is the church where we help each other. That was how the church functioned back in the days. You fucking hated church, but when you had a problem, you came in God's church, his house, and people were forced to be moral and help.
Exactly. Instead of marijuana, we should replace marijuana with Christ. I agree. What do you think, Danny? Is this the church, and you're going to save me?
If I win that gold bet, I'm going to mail over you a kilogram of peanut butter or jelly or whatever, and it'll cost me 20 quid to do the mailing, and the item will be £1. No, but the point is that everyone's it's just an age of extremes where everyone's scared by things that are innocuous, and then somehow they've accepted these bizarre cures as truisms, like the herder, marijuana is going to cure your mental health and all it's bizarre. But then they're scared of peanut butter. Okay, what the fuck are you talking? What? There's no congruity. There's nothing. There's no executive thinking. They're retarded. Something's wrong. That's it. And again, they're always right with no evidence behind it. That's why I can't deal with normies, because when I go into these places to work, I point out these contradictions, but they're full in on them, right? So I'm like, hang on a minute, what about that? That guy's weird, right?
Well, I think Denmark guy agrees with you. You're always saying you think Denmark guy is, off. You guys don't always see eye to eye, but I think Denmark guy agrees with you on this point. Am I mistaken? What do you say, Denmark?
Well, I don't. I think
a broken clock is correct twice a day. Denmark guy is the best broken clock I've ever heard.
Let me give you an example. I don't believe in
You don't believe in Christ.
I don't really believe in Christ, but I understand there's certain people that probably has a need for stuff like that, and I see that.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you on that. I don't need religion to be a moral person, but you see how, I don't know, simple-minded most people are. It's almost like, okay, I can be a good person whether there's a hell or not, whether there's a God or not. But a lot of society in general needs that guidance. So I do actually agree with that. I agree with that, Danny. or I'm sorry, Denmark guy. Sorry, both of you. Denmark guy, I agree with you. What does Danny think?
So you're saying no? It's not the guidance. It's they need the threat of hell, basically. They need a huge looming threat.
Yeah,
Well,
let me give you an example.
No, I think it's more complex than that because I think
there's
it is. No, see, this is where people get hung up. No, some people need the threat. I think what happens is, let's say I'm not trying to advocate a more religious society. What I'm saying is, let's say we had a more religious society. Even if someone said it's all bullshit, I don't believe in it, they'd still have to acknowledge the fact that even if it's bullshit, I live in a society where if I get pregnant out of wedlock, that's going to look bad. Whether I'm going to burn in hell or not isn't the point. I live in a society that teaches me that. So even if I think it's bullshit, even if I'm not worried about hell, the society I live in looks down on that. So I better be a little more careful. You know what I mean? There will always be promiscuity, but something like promiscuity probably isn't as high in a religious society, not because everyone's afraid of hell. There are people who say this is bullshit, but we're normies. We got to go along with whatever the belief system of the day is. So whether we believe in hell or not, we live in a society that looks down on premarital sex, so I better not be too promiscuous, that kind of thing. So it's not all the fear of hell. It's the fear of what the other normies will think in a society dominated that way, is what I'm saying, with that belief system.
It's a double threat. It's the and that also if you know about female nature, that kind of puts women in line because they're scared of the social disapproval. It's a huge.
That's what I'm just saying. If you live in a society like that, even if you yourself don't, like you're talking about, the fear of hell. No, for some people, yes. But if society is based on that, then it's not just the fear of hell. It's more so the fear of social ostracism because in our society, that stuff is looked down upon. So some people have the fear of hell, others have the fear of social disapproval, which is what keeps society in line. So in that regard, I understand what Denmark guy is saying. Yes.
Yeah, you catch more people basically. But the point is, but the threat of hell is huge, looming over, right? It helps to underpin it. It's a good system.
Let me give you an example. If you have in society, there's people around us that have an average IQ around 80 or 90. This person, this person will never be a computer scientist, okay? But we can teach this guy not moral philosophy at the high school level, but we can teach this person not to be an evil person through Christianity. Imagine if you lived in an Islamic society, we can teach people with an IQ of 80, 70, 90 Islamic moral. That is not a good thing to do, okay? Because that is dualism, and they will hate other people who are not Muslims. But if you do it with Christianity, it just, you can laugh about it because maybe we are not extremely intelligent, none of us, but we are probably above 100. So we know that we shouldn't steal and all this kind of shit. But the person with an IQ from the lower class of down the dangerous 80s or 90s, they can be taught to be not an evil person through Christianity, and I think that is
right. That's correct. Right, they might not be able to intellectualize it. If left to their own devices, they would do whatever. But either the fear of hell, or even if they don't believe in hell, the fear of social disapproval, because we live in a society structured that way, will prevent them. Because like I said, you, me. I don't think we need a God to not steal, not rape, not rob. But there are people who either need that fear of hell or, like I'm trying to tell Danny, that social backdrop. Even if I think hell is stupid, I know I can't rape someone because I might go to jail or I might be ostracized. So if you have that moral backing, it keeps the stupider ones in line who would otherwise just, go hog wild. I agree. No, I agree. Denmark guy, you're correct.
And we people here in Western society, we forget in the modern era that how it was to live in the ancient world, like 1,000 years ago, maybe, where everybody back then, the average IQ was probably 80 or 90 or something like that.
Yeah. No, even the medieval world was ruled by Catholicism. You had a huge overarching religious. I mean, even as late as the you could say even as late as the Nazi period before Hitler came.
Yeah.
Catholicism was such a huge influence. The Nazis did, and Hitler did need to actually bow down to the Catholics to get the support. He did need to get them on side. Huge power.
Yeah, but he still low-key hated them.
Yeah, no. He basically double. I mean, yeah, he double-crossed everyone. The Russians, the Pact of Steel. Oh no, hang on a minute. I'll invade you. Yeah, so there's Germany. Yeah, the Germans. You can't trust the Germans. No, I'm joking.
But also, there's a lot of. I hate this shit with Jordan Peterson now. I think his project is a good thing, but now he's sick or something like that. I think that now everybody is like linking Western civilization only with Christianity. Western civilization is way more complicated. It's like Greco-Roman thought meets Christianity or something like that. It's not only Christianity. It's like
Meeks Christianity. Yeah, Meeks.
Well, they always say, on a side note, they always say that Christianity is an extension of Judaism. But I've always argued that Christianity is effectively, think about it, you had a Jewish cult in the Roman world. So in order for it to take off, it would have to conform to some extent, like all the other cults of that time, with the... So even though the Old Testament is Jewish in origin, and even though we got the monotheism from the Jewish angle, Christianity is effectively, like you were saying, Denmark guy, a continuation of the Greco-Roman, religion. Christianity is basically a continuation of that with the Jewish monotheism thrown in. But yes, I would agree with that. Yes,
it's not good or bad, but I think that one of the reasons that the Dark Age in Europe was probably caused by people becoming fanatical Christians. Because the fanatical Christians, there was a lot of them in Europe back in those times, and they did the same shit as other Abrahamists did. It was basically to destroy all the knowledge, the scientific ish documents, and because just like the Muslims did, and the Jews did it also. So it's this fight between Greco-Roman and Christianity.
Don't talk about them. OC might get banned. No, but
why would I get? What was said that I might get banned? I couldn't hear you. Why would I get banned?
The J word. You're not allowed.
Not allowed to say the word Jew. Okay, all right, but go ahead. Continue.
About them. They get very
okay. So no, I hear what Denmark guy is saying, and he's saying that the fanatical aspect that goes with this moral code led to the destruction of knowledge, which left Europe in dark ages for centuries. Okay, maybe. What do you say, Danny?
You could argue that we're in the kind of destructions of the Library of Alexandria now.
Exactly.
Going into the dark ages.
That's what I feel. I feel that because we have IQ is declining, and now we're probably becoming like more religious fanatical because the lower classes are having more children, and So I hope that Christianity comes back as.
I think it's also part of the fact that there's no truth anymore. Like, I've just alluded to it with this marijuana thing. Hang on a minute. If this can take hold, no one cares about what's right or wrong. They're just going with the popular. It's irrelevant whether it's almost marijuana is just symptomatic. You can just do this right across the board, right? It's almost irrelevant what's actually true or not. They're just going with it like retards. Which is fanaticism.
That is what the Abrahamists, the fanatical Christians, Muslims, and Jays, they basically distorted the truth. There's some people that says that Marxism is evolved from these Abrahamist religions to undermine the truth, and the truth is what Western civilization is. We do everything to seek the truth.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I'm going to cut Danny off. But you just said Europe went through a whole dark ages destroying the truth. Wasn't that Western civilization? I mean, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah. That was because of the Abrahamists became fanatical, the Christians.
Yeah, but that's true. But what I'm saying is that don't you think it's weird, this kind of dichotomy that we've got this age of it doesn't matter about the truth, bro. But the whole structure is predicated on very binary. Technology is truth or not. There's no it doesn't matter. It's definitely 1 or 0, right? With the internet, all these technological everything is predicated on the binary 1 or 0. But suddenly outside this sphere, it becomes incredibly bizarre where there is no truth. but the whole structure is predicated on something that's. It has to be true because it works. There is no. It's impossible for you to fudge a bridge falling down on physics.
Yeah, but Jordan Peterson talks about this that the Marxist has infiltrated the Western universities since like I don't know the 40s or 50s, probably even before, and distorted the truth because all these hoax studies, gender studies degrees, and what is it called? Not postmodernism and all this shit that has nothing with the truth. It is just Marxism again. It is basically an extension of the Abrahamist fanatical mind or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just very interesting. Also, I think this is why men like OC, and me, are checking out, because I'm like, I can see, hang on a minute, why am I going to contribute to a truth, because I don't know, we probably go into industries that are technical, right? You've got to be very right or wrong. You've got to be very correct but then suddenly in the social sphere, all bets are off. There's no truth why am I contributing to this right or wrong?
Right. Okay, Bob. I agree with what you're saying here, Danny, but here's where I'm going to actually diverge. I'm a little bit older than you boys. You know, I'm not saying you're both in your 30s, you say. I'm in my mid 40s. You know, I remember a time when we didn't have the access to this truth. When I was a teen, in my 20s even, I couldn't look up black pill stuff. So I had to believe the lies of the day. It was almost like we weren't searching for truth. We were being lied to, but we had no one else to confront. It was all within our own little heads. We're all islands into ourselves. I think, if anything, there's actually more truth. Even as much as society tries to fight it, all this black pill stuff is shit I felt all my life, but no one ever talked about. So in a strange way, while I agree with you, why even participate? It's good to see that others feel the same way. There's actually, to some extent, even though they're trying to suppress it, more truth available now with the black pill on the internet than there ever was when I was growing up. So I don't fully agree with destruction of truth. I've been exposed. The fact that we can have this conversation now.
No, I'm not saying in an absolute sense. I'm saying I'm not saying in a specific sense where, you know, you have to remember, we represent how much of the population? 0.0000001%, right? What about the other 99.99999?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're right. What you call point not. We were islands unto ourselves. At least now we have this little bit where we can share and say it's not just in our heads. It is true. We're all seeing this truth that the normies have always been suppressing. The 99.99% have always suppressed it, but now we can at least confirm our thoughts with each other, which we couldn't do in the past. So this is true. There have always been people like us, and the normies have always suppressed it, but now they can't suppress it to the same extent. They're doubling down because we're sharing our thoughts and ideas. That's why I'm a Toddist, and the guy was my fucking hero. But okay, continue.
That's the point, though. This is my problem as well. Even though you've got these people literally spouting the truth, the normies can't handle it. The normies are actively suppressing it.
Yes.
It's not that they've said, oh, hang on, they've actually got a point. This is how you know they're not interested in the truth. Because you say a truism, which you remember, if you feel it, these normies feel it. Make no mistake about it. The normies know exactly what you're feeling, that they've experienced what you experienced. They deny it, right? But it's still there. And when someone tells them, they have to actively go against what they know, they feel. That's what I'm saying. That's how I know they're bent, because they have the information's out there, but no, hang on a minute, he's wrong because of an ad hominem attack. He's sure, yeah. That's
I think that's what normies have always been like that. Hence, we were talking about religion before. Okay, if normies can't think for themselves, give them something positive to think. If someone says hell isn't real, let's have premarital sex. Whoa. Even if what you're saying is true, we can't go against the grain. At least if people are going to be mindless sheep, at least let them believe something positive for society, as opposed to what we have now, which is no change. People still mindlessly believe, but they're believing bad things. It's tying in with a Denmark guy's religious sense. But no, of course, no one wants to question what the party line of the day is. You know, most people agree slavery was bad. But back when slavery was the thing, people agreed with it because it was the thing. And I've always said, and if aliens land, if the alien spaceships come down, people will say, we love our overlords. Let's get the rectal probe. Whatever the party line is of the day, people are going to go with. So my argument is, since people can't think for themselves, give them a positive party line, not what we have now. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to say, people, slavery was bad. If had they been alive back then, the same people would be pro-slavery. If aliens took over, they'd be pro-alien. Let's worship the. So in other words, people just go along with whatever the line is of the day. They don't think whether it's good or bad. So
the biggest supporters of the Nazis were who? The middle class. The masses. Bingo. Game over. They went behind them like sheep. Absolute jokers, by the way. And Denmark guy was standing.
The biggest jokers were the Danes who bent over backwards. No, I'm kidding. Denmark guy. We'll let Danny talk. Do you want to chime in? Let's have this nice balance. What do you want to chime in with, Denmark guy?
Yeah, but it's just I'm
you
not.
You can disagree with me or him or whatever. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just
There we
don't
go.
really agree that we should. I would like to contribute to society. I'm trying to get a job and stuff, but I get the point about, if, for example, if you look at how many years it took for men could never say what we are saying today, we would just have been undermined by like the leftist. And
we still are, like Danny was saying, we still are in a way, but yeah.
Yeah, but to a lesser degree than like 60 years ago.
No, you just got an incel.
No, they're doubling down on us now. Because like in the past we couldn't talk about these things. They would go after us, but we didn't have to do it as much because people didn't talk about these things. Now that we can share ideas, share truth. They're doubling down on the truth. But go ahead.
Denmark guy hasn't been out in the fucking field. I've been fired from 2 jobs, doing nothing wrong, just going, hang on a minute, you're being a feminazi. I'm not going to take this overreach from without saying anything. I'm just with my actions, and they're like, see you later, you're fired in 1 month. One of them, right?
Yeah, but I think I'm just saying, just because I know that the CIA is listening to this, that I'm actually those the two.
I'm actually gonna maybe. Denmark guy is like, remember what you said about Xenesis? He's a woke Chad. Maybe he's woke enough to hang around these spaces, but he's good looking enough or popular enough or normal enough to not have the problems we do. He's a quote unquote woke Chad. More aware, right, to know what's going on to some extent, but never to the extent that we do. He's a woke Chad. I don't know. We don't know, but all right.
So CIA, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
On a side note, if anyone should worry about the FBI, it's me, because I'm the American. What does an Englishman and a Dane care? But okay, so you're worried what the American law enforcement.
Like you said, I don't
Five eyes, intelligence.
The CIA can come around my house anytime. And like, I'll be here with my fucking knuckles, and they'll have to go through me.
Who do you think gives the intelligence in Denmark and also in the US and
Denmark's not 5 eyes, so you're fucked anyway.
No, the intelligence collaborate with these.
Yes, I know. But Denmark guy, you don't know. You're trying to be high IQ, but the 5 eyes, Denmark's not part of it. Sorry.
I know. I was just joking. Yeah.
No, but also
it's only the Anglos. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but you didn't deny that you were a high tier normie, and you're just looking through the fucking.
No. I'm like I am normie. Look, listen. OC is quite decent looking. He's not ugly.
Well, I'm going to cut you off. That's flattering, but I've always said it doesn't matter what another man thinks. If a man says I'm good looking, or if a man says you're ugly, it doesn't matter. Women are the choosers. I told you, I can see extremes. I can see like a billboard model, a really good looking Chad. I can see the elephant man burn victim. I used to look at, like when I was a kid in school, I'd look at the other kids, like there's Billy and Jimmy and Timmy. They all look the same to me. They look like guys. They're not Chad, but they're not circus freaks, but the girls really liked Billy. They were okay with Jimmy. With me, it was like, ew. And I would think, they would think, we're all equal. We're not good looking, but we're not hideous. We should all be equal. We don't realize how women have their own set of, attraction. So thank you, Denmark guy. But whether you say I'm good looking or not is irrelevant. You're not really the one to choose or make that decision.
The problem is OC is in his sort of looks minning arc where he's gained loads of weight. So he probably would, although looking normal, he wouldn't be as appealing as he otherwise would. No, but anyway, that's a conscious decision to say, fuck, In fact,
You're saying all this fat extra makes me look better or worse? I couldn't find. I probably have gained weight, but I mean, you're saying what? It makes me look more solid, or it actually look? I look better if I lost weight. It made no difference. I used to be much skinnier. It made no fucking difference the way it was treated.
For women, it's definitely you're definitely fucked. I mean, looking for the female gaze, every single woman, every single guy that's at the top of the food chain is a fucking rail. I like no, but I love that because you're literally like, fuck you. I'm going to go the opposite way. Yeah. That's the biggest fuck you to women. I'm going to be a fat fuck and walk around. Now, fuck off. That's literally what you're doing. That's brilliant. That's high IQ as fuck. You literally opposite of what the market is demanding. That's the best. In this environment?
It's like with my computers, I still use Windows 10 and Windows XP. I say, fuck this Windows 11. Yeah, it's like, fuck it. If it's like people always say, like, okay, think about the gym cope. Gym sells guys who go to the workout and get muscles, and it makes no difference. It's like, why put in that effort and do that if it's not making any difference? It's like, what? No gym for your face. Same thing. Fuck it. If women are going to find me unattractive no matter what I look like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to enjoy myself and have a beer.
As a fellow gym coper, I found that I'm not doing it for women. I'm doing it to scare normies. Normies don't want the smoke. If you're jacked, they do not want. They back off. Big, it's basically to avoid the punching down. They don't want the smoke. They're like, hang on a minute, this guy can cause me a problem. Right, I'm not going to.
I don't know if working out makes you a Chad. It might make you an ogre.
No, it doesn't. It makes you not a punching bag.
Okay.
Other men are like, hang on a minute, this guy can fuck me up. I'm not punching down on this guy, or punch down much, much less, right? Anyway, I've got an interesting question about Denmark, guy. With all your experience in the in accounting, how have you not? I don't get it. How can you not land this really low level? Like you said, you were going for almost like an operations assistant kind of role. How the fuck can an accountant operating at a top 4 firm? How can you not have the experience to? That's insane.
Especially one who's self-proclaimed normie tier. So yeah, you're normie looking, and you've got all this experience. Okay, fair question. Fair.
I have a 4-year gap in my CV right now. That's probably one of the.
That's true, but you can have personal circumstances or whatever, but you've still got the experience. You've still. It's like a professional footballer.
I don't want to go back to accounting. I just want a lower level desk office assistant job.
That's what I'm saying. You should be able to fly into one of those because that's like.
No.
Why? I think you're the victim again of the anti-white train, in my opinion.
I don't. But all these low. I wanted to be an IT repair guy, but all these jobs are filled with all these like.
No, but it's understandable for you to be rejected for that job. You've got fuck all experience. You're unemployable, in my opinion, without quite a heavy qualification. But if you're an accountant at a top 4 firm for how many years? 3 years, but you've got this 4-year gap. An employer should say, hang on a minute, this guy has operated at a fucking high level. I don't really care about. You can't forget everything in 4 years. He's going to be a fucking office clerk.
But I think that the job market is a hoax. They are lying about everything. I went to a job interview. I spoke about it yesterday on OC Stream and I asked them at the end of the interview because I knew I wouldn't get the job. That how many applicants did you get for this junior position at a lower tier company? And he told me it was thousands and thousands.
I know you said that, but so how did they let you know that you haven't got the job? Or did you get from the body language like this guy is a joker or something? What? How did you know that? Did they tell you instantly?
No. I got an email. When the deadline has passed.
Oh right, yeah. I just just looking at it logically, if you're at a top 4 firm and done audits, this is way above the paper pushing bullshit office assistant role. I've seen them. They just fucking photocopy shit. It's pathetic. I don't understand why they'd not snap off your arm and say, hang on a minute, this guy could fucking speed up the fucking. He'd make it way more efficient. He's got loads of tricks we don't even know about, right? He's worked in a fucking.
Is that alcohol? Are you drinking? You're drinking alcohol right now.
I'm drinking alcohol.
Yeah, I heard those beer glass bottles.
No, it's piss pots.
Piss pots.
No, but I don't understand the rationale. Something's got to be genuinely cooked, like you're getting discriminating. That's my opinion.
Well, maybe if Denmark guy is being truthful, maybe it just shows how even a normie tier guy with experience can't get a job. What are your prospects, Danny? Because if Denmark guy is struggling and he's a normie with all this experience, how are you going to become that bookkeeper? I'm not trying to be dire, but hey, maybe he's aware of something you're not. If it's that hard for him, if he's telling the truth, maybe it's going to be impossible for you. I'm putting that out there. But I'm just putting that out there. But Denmark guy, Danny says you're lying or there's something you're not sharing with us. So
Well, I've not applied to that many jobs, so yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I was I got to another interview as a handicap assistant, but I've also spoken about that, and they declined it because the handicapped person was dying or something like that.
Yeah, but you're trying to scaremonger me. Not really.
I can't hear what you're saying. Your mic is off or something.
You're trying to scaremonger me or something, right?
No.
No, OC is trying to scaremonger me with this.
I
I am actually quite scared.
no, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. You always talk about you just got fired from another dishwasher job, but you're going to go into business and become this bookkeeper. But then you're scratching your head how a self-proclaimed normie with all this experience like Denmark guy, if he can't do it, well, then how is a guy who's been fired from every low-end job going to also do it? So I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Maybe you're right, and Denmark guy isn't telling us the full story, but there is that sense of if there's any truth to what Denmark guy is saying, you see how hard it is for him. It's going to be even more impossible for you. So it might not be, you think, oh, I'm going to do business for myself, become a bookkeeper, accountant. It might not be cherries and roses if Denmark guy with his experience and his normie appeal can't even pull it off. And I don't know how different Denmark is from the UK, but still similar.
That's the predicate of my question. I'm worried. How can this? If this guy's in trouble, I'm in fucking big trouble. Also, I'm under no illusion that it's easy because remember, I've cycled through these jobs and loads of interviews. I know I'm in trouble for sure. I just can't believe how much trouble this guy is in with all these qualifications. I mean, what qualification in accounting do you have? Do you have a degree?
I have a bachelor degree in business economics.
Did you get a specific accounting degree? Qualification? There's specific technical qualifications.
But I don't know how it is in the UK, but in Denmark, there's like 5 or 6 levels you can get in without, only with college, high school, and then you need to complete a AP degree, and then when you completed that, you need to complete a bachelor degree, and when you completed that, you get the opportunity to complete a master degree, and if you complete that and you perform well, you can become a certified something like is it called a CFA or something like that or something.
Okay, but wait. How far, Denmark guy? How far up did you go? How far up the chain did you go in your endeavor?
I think you didn't get very far.
I stopped at the bachelor degree level.
Bingo. Game over.
No, but that's still better than just high school or the lower degrees. At least you have something. I think Danny's asking why you couldn't go further or go into one specific thing or take a test. I think that's what he's asking. Well, what made you stop at the bachelor's level? But shouldn't the bachelor's level be decent-ish to get your foot in the door?
Well, it was basically because there's something, if I wanted to complete my master degree, and I'm not sure I wanted to work forever in accounting, you can only get 5. You can only get up to a master degree level for free, and if you complete the master degree, you cannot get another master degree in Denmark. Then you need to pay for it yourself. So I was in doubt, and I chose not to start the master degree.
Did you hear that, Danny? In Denmark, the next step after a bachelor's would be a master's, but you're only allowed to get one master's for free. And he was afraid that accounting, after all that time, accounting might have been the wrong choice. But Denmark guy, did you ever get any kind of master's degree in something else, or you just stopped at a bachelor's accounting? I mean, could you, in theory, go back to school for a master's in accounting or a master's in something else paid for by Denmark? I mean, have you thought about that?
I could, I could have. I can still do that, but this is the politicians change all the shit every 5 years or something like that. But that is how it has been, and it's also right now.
Yeah. But again, the problem is drive, I think this might have coincided with him seeing the Chads picking up all the women. Right at the same time, you're like, hang on a minute, why am I in this field? Right? Why would you carry on? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was always in the background, draining your drive, right?
Yeah, but it's also it's more complicated than that, because I see the AI shit is coming now, and if you have completed a master degree level, you can't even start a free like lower level like technical education. So I think I did well in not completing the master degree, because when AI hits, I would probably take some, I don't know, become an electrician or something in 20 years, 10 years or something like that.
I think there's scope if you've got good computer science skills to be accounting. I think you'll go more in this area.
Yeah, but I don't think I have the IQ or drive to become a decent computer scientist.
No, I'm talking about like, in my opinion, this is my opinion on accounting, that they'll have the dedicated spurge in every kind of accounting firm where they're trying to make bespoke software and stuff, and you'll be the nose accounting, because it's a huge advantage, right?
Yeah. But I need to get out of this corporate shit.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. You know about Zero, don't you? And all this kind of Sage, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, they've got app stores, right? And you can make apps in this.
What was that?
That was my heroin. No, but the app store.
You just took a line of cocaine?
That was a line of cocaine.
Yeah.
No, but
that was a line of cocaine, OC. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, OC? Come on, man.
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What? What are you guys talking about? This Zero app thing? Can you elaborate? I don't know what you're talking about with that. Look, I've had people do cocaine on my stream. I had a Dane by the name of Andy do cocaine on my stream. So I'm no stranger to people doing lines of coke. What is this Zero? What are you talking about? Elaborate.
I remember when I spoke to Div Pike on session, I heard that sound and I was like, wait a minute, what is that? What is that sound? And now I hear that sound again.
It was an aerosol. No, but anyway,
you do cocaine. You are cokehead.
Yeah, I'm Denmark.
I'm not going to comment either way, but I will say this. Tara Norquay, who I will admit was kind of loony. Tara Norquay said the same thing, Denmark guy. She said she believed that Danny was a cokehead. I said, but yeah, Tara Norquay believed that. I mean, yes, I'll admit she was kind of nuts, but you're not the first person to suggest that, Denmark guy. Tara Norquay also thought Danny was
the
anti-truth. Actually, there's a song by a Danish band. I don't know if you know this song. If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. Ride the white pony. Don't ride the white horse. It's about cocaine. I forget the name of the band. It was a Danish band. Early 80s. If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. Ride the white pony. But yeah, you're not the first person, Denmark guy, to suggest he's. I'm just putting that out there.
We're going into
this is interesting. So how come you started doing coke? Is it because you're hopeless?
Yeah, it's the black pill. No, but Zero accounting software, it has like apps, and you can make apps for it. You can adjust the reports, everything like this.
I thought you were speaking about the Zero computer programming era.
Yeah. It's a good thing I asked, because I don't know what Zero is. You guys have different ideas of what Zero is. But remember, if you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. I'll look them up. They were a Danish band. Ride the white pony. In other words, don't go nuts with cocaine lines. Don't ride the white horse. They were Danish. Well, I'll look them up.
Again. You did another line of cocaine again.
But the account. Yeah, but anyway, Zero is a bookkeeping program, right? You can.
Why, dude? You need to get off this. Don't take any stimulant medication unless it's in a university setting, and don't do cocaine. You need to get off these stimulants and cocaine and do nicotine gum like me. I only do nicotine gum.
Yeah, but Zero is heavily customizable. So is Sage. All this kind of thing. You have apps You have side apps for it that can help with. There's loads of scope for you to be a programmer that knows accounting, that knows what you're looking for, right? There's huge scope, in my opinion. But that's another angle. But the accountants also, haven't you noticed also that in the accounting firms you have these spurges who think they know everything? Almost every one of the accountants, they have this huge narcissism arc, especially the owners and things. They have huge narcissism. There's this huge arc, right? I know everything. Did you get that?
But yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. But I just want to talk about the cocaine. What other kind have you done? Mushrooms, psychedelics, anything else?
Can I speak to OC? He's talking. Denmark guy's the one that's on.
No, I'm actually enjoying this. You guys figure this out. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm looking up the lyrics. The name of the band was Laid Back. They were Danish. If you want to ride, don't ride. I'll be back in a minute. You guys figure out your accounting, zero, spurge, cocaine.
I think it's so interesting that I thought about you called me and I heard that sound, but I didn't want to be rude to you when we spoke at session, and then I just thought it was a error or something at this, and now I hear the sound again, and I was like, okay, yeah, like that.
How many sniffs can I have?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, you get desensitized to cocaine. So,
also, how are you surviving without any money? I don't get it. How many reserves have you got? I
work a little. I live at a small room at my father's small apartment, and I get free rent and utilities. I just need to clean. Hell. I need to clean the whole shit and make food for him.
It's a fair question. So basically, your father pays your way. Just like DUM is beholden to Donna, you're beholden to your father. Basically, you're living off your father's savings. Because you told us your father was an IT, and he's in his 80s. He was an IT decades ago. You're saying you basically live off your father's savings, or is that what you're?
No, I have. You know, when you're a single guy and you work 3 years at accounting, I'm not saying you're rich, but and if you don't use money for anything because you don't have a social life, you don't have a girlfriend or anything like that, your money, you just invest the money in ETFs like me, and you have some money left, and that is what I'm doing now.
What are ETFs? ETFs?
Exchange traded funds.
Yeah, it's just these funds where you load up money.
What's the actual name?
I don't know what the name is in English.
But it's exchange traded funds. That's the name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that is. I could live for 1 year maybe. I pay for my food and my transport and my bike and shit. So.
Oh, but you can also You can also save money. I don't know what the terms are in Danish, but you don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay property taxes. Your father pays for all the living stuff, like the electricity, all that stuff, the basic cost of living. Your father's paying for it for himself. You get to piggyback, and you don't have to waste your own money on rent or property or utilities, whatever the Danes call them. So you get to save money because your father's chipping in, basically.
You can live off nothing in that existence.
I could do that, but it's probably only worth like $300.
No, but think about it. You don't have any, like OC says, you're living in luxury. No one has this advantage. You're in a minority, bro.
Well, that's the thing. Todd, as much as I love him, he had that advantage. He was an only child. He lived with his parents for a few years until he got approved for neat bucks. He had the luxury of, I'm not working, but it's okay. My parents pay the electricity. My parents pay the property taxes. My parents pay for the food. So even if it was some money, and he probably had money saved up, he had to do a spend down. So kind of like Denmark guys, kind of like Todd in that regard. He had money saved up he could spend on himself, but all the basics were still covered. Like, 'cause that money would go fast. If you didn't have your father, you'd have to pay all those expenses. Todd had his parents to pay those expenses. Okay, interesting. I admire that. People who have their parents to help them. Cool. I don't blame you. I'd do it if I could.
Listen, if I had children, my children would as long as they behaved and cleaned and helped me.
Yeah. Say your father drops dead tomorrow and you find he had no money, he's actually in debt. Then what happens? Your father had no money, he's in debt. Would you be able to afford all this shit? Yeah.
Precisely, he's fucked. It's over.
Yeah, it's over then. Yeah, I'll become homeless.
It's a bad hedge, relying on, in my opinion. Todd's is a bad hedge as well, because imagine if Trump goes full retard and then pulls the disability from his ass, what happens then? Todd has to guard, right? Todd has to apply for McDonald's jobs, right? He's got no money. He's got a huge gap.
Well, I hear the food stamps, EBT, he's got a lot saved up because he doesn't spend it all. But the monthly allowance for food isn't being spent in November because of this government shutdown. So we're starting to see the cracks, in the system, but still an admirable system. But yeah.
That's a misnomer. The government shuts down all the time in America. It's a political play. It's the House of Cards charade.
No, but what I'm saying, you're missing the point. Whether it's a political play or not, the SNAP, EBT, food stamps, wherever you call it in England, the free monies for people who are poor to buy food monies, isn't going to be paid out in November. They've said we're not going to pay anybody their food stamp money in November. So it probably won't affect Todd too badly, but we're seeing the slight cracks where, if you depend on that money, you got a family, it's not going to get paid out for November because of the quote unquote shutdown. So that's like indicative of things to come. Indicative.
Yeah, but the rebates but they'll get a rebate and get double in December. That's what you're missing out again.
No, you might be right. Hey, that's what I hope for. You might be right. It's not the point. The point is, if you really need that money, you can't wait till December. You're going to be starving until you get I can eat like a king in December, but for now I'm fucked. It won't affect Todd. It's just indicative of things to come. When they don't, keep on schedule. When they play the game of, we're not going to pay you this month, we'll double it next month, it still fucks you in the short term.
That's true.
This song, you need to listen to the guitar on this song. I think it would be.
Well, let's not change subjects. We can listen to your guitar in a minute. That's
the problem.
What?
Yeah. He's on cocaine. That's the problem. He's actually Denmark Andy. He's not.
He thinks you're on. He thinks no. They're not. They're two different people. I used to think it was Superman Clark Kent, but they were both on together once speaking Danish. You can go back and watch it. There was one time they were on together. The point is, I don't care about the cocaine. We'll listen to the guitar in a minute. I was talking about the cracks, the indicative cracks. You bring up a good point, but I was talking about the broader point. The Denmark guy, I don't blame you for doing what you do, but you've got some money saved up. Great. But that money you have saved up would go a lot faster if you didn't have your father paying a lot of expenses. If daddy died tomorrow and he was in debt, you'd be fucked. So you are reliant upon your father paying a lot of these bills helps you save money to spend on yourself. That's what I'm arguing. I think, and I'm not criticizing you, but I think that is that.
Agreed.
He's been a parasite for 4 years. That's why he's
no. This is called family. Okay, if I had a son, okay, he cleaned, and if he cleaned the house and he was quiet and he just used his headphones, and he could get the small bedroom and we could just chill together and live side by side, and I would pay his rent as long as he paid for his own food and entertainment.
Yeah, this doesn't mean you're not a parasite in your family. That doesn't absolve you of anything. You're talking about
it's all being a responsible parent.
Yeah, but if you don't try and get a part-time job, I think there's a line where you cross that's not.
Yeah, but I am trying.
He's got DoorDash, and he's, as he self-proclaims, at his lowest ebb, and his effort level is at sub-zero. But he's still doing DoorDash occasionally.
But I'm doing, but I'm not doing cocaine. I'm not the one doing cocaine.
Yeah, but when he snorts cocaine, then he does the DoorDash, right? It's about once a week. He snorts cocaine, then goes on the dashing around, right? That's exactly how he gets himself up for it.
Oh shit! Am I back on?
We don't want to see OC in his underpants.
No, in a way, I am kind of mooching on. That's why I can't. My brother's going to run out of money. He's not made of money. I'm kind of doing to my brother what Denmark guy is doing to his father, in a way. And it's not right because my brother can't sustain it. I don't know if your father is well invested. He's near death. But, I can't be a total hypocrite. I'm kind of mooching off my brother, but it can't go on. The house of cards will fall. So, but I admit that. I don't talk about, I DoorDash, so I have a few dollars here. Yeah, but I'd be homeless without my brother, and I got to get my act together. And
if you do DoorDash, at least you're contributing something. Denmark guy is on flat 0 for 4 years. 0. That's pathetic.
No. It's
his father has more money than Brother Click. because his father's in his 80s, maybe the father's like, I don't care. Let's spend my money. I'll be dead in a few years anyway. Who cares? So I don't know the dynamic.
No, if Denmark guy says he's a Christian and he has morals, that's an amoral position by de facto.
Well, he'll argue his father's being a good Christian father. But that's a fair point, Dev. A good point. Good point.
You're in contravention to Christ. Now what are you going to do? Now what is it?
He's a Christian. I'm a Jew. Oh shit! I just say the J word. Sorry.
So you're not okay. So you're spouting all this Christian ethics, but you're not actually the Christian, right? You're a heretic, right or wrong?
I'm a J. I'm a J.
Really, in Denmark? How does that go? How does that go down?
Yeah, it's the same as in the UK. You got all these Browns rallying down the street, screaming, and
What, against the Jays?
Yeah.
Have you had any anti-J incidents?
Yeah, it's like 10 years ago they attacked the synagogue and killed a person.
Are you a J with a distinguishing feature on your face? Do they know from your facial characteristics that you're a J?
I don't think he's literally a J. I think he's saying, like Todd, you say, I'm a Jew. I think he's pinching his pennies, or whatever you call it, and mooching off his father, like I mooch off my brother. But you're right; it's a good point. At least I don't claim to be some good moral Christian. Denmark guy, it's a fair point. Shouldn't you, just for your father, say, instead of bleeding my father dry, I should go out and maybe get a job, just have a little extra. Yes, I'm contributing. I pay for my own food and shit. Maybe I should say, hey, Dad, I got a job, and if you need help with the rent or whatever,
good point. But it's not that I'm doing anything. I clean the whole house. I cook him food. I help him with IT. And
what's IT? What does that mean?
Just basic IT stuff.
Technology.
Okay, you're doing the basics, which is what a son should do anyway. These are all basic, clean your room, bro. Jordan Peterson mean, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I cook good food. Yeah, and all this stuff. Yeah.
You're a good.
Maybe Denmark guy has become like the caregiver instead of like if Denmark guy had a good job, moved away. His father probably couldn't live by himself, so maybe Denmark guy's job is being the caregiver for his elderly father. Maybe that's the good spin to put on it. Not just for being a good son's sake, but his job is to make sure father is fed and comfortable and tended to.
Yeah.
I think he's a very, very good Christian. He should be a minister. He should be ordained. He's close to Christ. I think he's performed miracles in that home that need to be recognized, right?
Yeah. I have like Christian crucifixes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but anyway, so how are you going to get yourself out of this hole? How are you going to go really low down, like a fucking Burger King job?
How low? My father's traveling in a couple of months, and
I want to hear the answer, but out of just pure curiosity, before I forget, you keep saying Christian. What are you guys nominally? I'm assuming, maybe I'm wrong. Dev, I'm assuming you're an Anglican, Church of England, Henry VIII. What are you, Denmark guy? Are you a Lutheran, or what is the denomination? I'm curious what you are. I'm assuming you're both Protestants. You talk about crucifixes. I've got one because, well, I'm not religious, but I can tell you I'm Roman Catholic, Church of Rome, Papist. I'm just curious. I would assume, Danny, you're what, Anglican nominally as the Church of England? Is that correct? Or background-wise? Hello? He went bye-bye. What about you, Denmark guy?
Well, it's the public church in Denmark is just like Lutheran Protestant.
Right. I was just curious.
The denomination is immaterial. It's just
that's not what I asked you. I was asking in a general sense. Christ, don't give me this immaterial bullshit. Now, what were you saying, Denmark guy, about? He was joking about miracles in the house. What were you saying, Denmark guy?
I didn't say anything. I just said that I have.
So you said, yeah, the church. I was pure curiosity. So Denmark is predominantly Lutheran. England is predominantly Anglican, Church of England. But don't tell me it's irrelevant. I'm just curious. What was nominally when you were a kid? What when your grandma went to church? Was it Church of England? Was it Presbyterian? What was? I'm just curious.
Church of England is the main denomination in England.
Yeah, I just said that. Is that, but not all English are Church of England. So were you of a Church of England background or what?
I was indoctrinated in the Church of England school, so yeah.
Okay.
But you know, it's unusual.
Now, it's pure curiosity. Now we've established that. All right. What were you guys saying before I cut you off? Because it's just a straightforward answer is all I need.
I'm asking Denmark guy, what level are you going for? Are you going to go down to my level where you're like a fucking cafe assistant? How I know you're trying to get these admin assistant roles, but they seem to be very, like you said, they're very, very competitive just for a retard near minimum wage. I've done it myself. You've got these.
No,
50
IT repair.
Go for a minimum wage cafe job.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's for chats only. You know.
All right, so you don't go down. Okay, so you've got this spurge limit. Okay.
Yeah, your face is out, you know, in public, you know, and you need to be good looking.
One of those. Why don't you do it in a balaclava? Why don't you work in a balaclava?
Yeah, that's some UK shit. Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
Jack Tissot has a take on this angle, which I find is absolutely hilarious and also true. Every sub 5 should do the work in the dark. get jobs like train driver, yeah. Overnight, you know those overnight supermarket stackers where it's dark.
Train driver is like a high.
Do I know those overnight supermarkets? Yeah, that's all I pretty much fucking did all my fucking life. But yes, I'm well aware.
That's the point.
We don't have that in Denmark. Do you have that in the UK?
You know, train diggers, where they're maintaining the railway at like, you know, and the shift starts at 12 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning. These are the jobs. These are the special jobs for the sub 5s. The face isn't shown, right?
For the rails, for all the railing and yeah.
So you wouldn't wait there. I thought you were a normie then. So you wouldn't go for these. No, I'm talking about cafe assistant, like in the kitchen where you're not seeing very much. But so you
that could be okay. That'll be okay. Yeah.
So why don't you try? Are you going down to this level? That's what I'm trying to get at, because I've tried myself with these.
But I don't see it. I don't see it as low level. I see it as an appropriate level. Appropriate level.
Yeah, but it's far below the accounts assistant kind of role.
Yeah, but I don't need a lot of money to survive as one guy.
So that's my point. Why aren't you going for these crap ass kitchen assistant jobs as opposed
to?
Yeah,
thank you for the recommendation. I'll look into it. Yeah.
Go for factory work, cafe jobs, bin man, all these kind of low level shit. There's no competition. No one wants a job. No one cares. Farm work like OC did. No one wants that smoke.
Yes, shit jobs that the rejects take. Yeah, that no one else wants to do. That's a good point. Instead of worrying about helping the getting a job caring for the elderly, you're already caring for your father. Why not go for what he calls a cafe or a pub or diner, whatever you call it in Denmark, a job where you're basically hospitality. You're washing dishes or a waiter, serving the public, or a line cook or something in a bar. Why not go for one of those jobs if you don't want to be the accountant? Why are you going for these caring jobs? Why not?
By the way, OC, do you still work at that farm?
No, that came to an end. The guy couldn't make up his mind what he wanted. He was upset that I wasn't showing up when he would say, come at 9 o'clock in the morning. He'd call me and say, change of plans. Come at noon. And I'd say, well, you can't just switch up the time. So he was playing farmer. He was a surgeon, plastic surgeon, playing farmer on the side. He paid me for the work I did, but no, that fell apart. So I'm looking for a job again. It was a nice idea, but I don't think he was a gentleman farmer, meaning farming wasn't his main occupation. It was something he did for fun on the side. And I think what he really needs is like a live on the farmhand. He needs a farmhand who lives there, who can be at his beck and call whenever he wants, because he ain't a farmer. He's a surgeon, and I don't think he knows what he wants. But I understand what Danny's saying. That kind of shit work, the average person won't even think about. But I have to go for it because I'm an ugly spurg who has to take whatever he can get. A job by himself, one of these off kilter fuck up jobs. So why don't you look towards more like jobs like that? If you can't get a job being a caregiver and you don't want to be an accountant, I understand what Danny's asking you. So
it doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at the market dynamically, right? If the market is spurged out and said, the competition is retarded in this area for some reason for these admin roles. Which, by the way, they're always going to hire a woman, bro. So, right, you're playing a game that's stacked against you. Why not just go for a job that pays, by the way, exactly the same, for a job that no one cares about? I mean, like,
yeah. But I would like to ask you a question. Have you tried any kinds of psychedelics?
No, we're not going back on the drugs. And by the way, misdirection doesn't work. You're not a libtard on a fucking CBNC talk show. It's not going to work. You have to address the
the noise there again. That you just took another line.
Yeah. By the way, also it's good for like you get into like a mental rut where you just don't have any structure, in my opinion. I don't like
that's the story of my existence currently. I know I got to break my way out of it. You just said the mental rut. That's what I'm in right now. But you're saying what Denmark guy is in a mental rut as well, or what do you?
Well, you can see it with Todd as well. He's in the middle, but it gives you some structure at least. I mean, I know it's not valuable, but I found it gives you some structure, so you can actually, if you don't do a full-time job, because it'll drive you absolutely insane working with these normtards. 24 hours a week is manageable. You just piss off.
That's why I want SSDI. Todd is on SSI. Todd is on SSI, which is cheap shit. And if you work on SSI, they start deducting. With SSDI, emphasis on the D, you get paid more because you paid into it. You get paid more, and you can work up to a certain earning amount. So I could do that. If I got SSDI, I'd be making more than Todd with my disability, and I could work, like you said, 24 hours a week. Dumb. I'll work 3 days a week doing bullshit, and if the job turns to shit, or if I want to quit and take a road trip, I can quit and find a shit job later. That's why I so want SSDI. SSI is cheaper, and you're limited. The more you make, the more they take away from you. SSDI, you get your full amount, which is higher, but only up to a threshold. So what you're describing describes me, but you're asking Denmark guy why he doesn't do this? Is that what you're basically saying?
No, I've got another name for SSI. It's SSDI, SSDEI. Yeah, that's what it is, right? SSDEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Only the ethnics. Well, in our country, it's SSDEI. They don't give it out to the white man. They give it out to the ethnics and the immigrants. The white man is cooked.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but SSDI, no, they give them handouts and charity and welfare. SSDI, allegedly, you paid into. Even though I've had nothing but shit jobs, I'm in my 40s. I've been working since I was a teenager. I've paid into this. So SSDI is based upon a rate you've paid into. But I understand that's a good call, SSDEI. I hear what you're saying, but okay. But you're asking me this, you're asking Danny this.
Yeah, I'm not into the whole SSDI thing because I remember I told you I don't believe in relying on a state they fuck everything up. So it's not a good play to rely on. That's why I'm trying to get this. I'm pushing for me to be a, which I think actually Denmark guy is a prime candidate. Just become a fucking bookkeeper yourself. Just be a freelance bookkeeper. Try and get clients now. What's stopping you? I'll make a website for you. I'll launch the website because I can actually code. I can make you a website in about 3 days. That looks pretty good, right? Denmark,
how can you code? Which programming languages can you code in?
Well, you know, the usual, the web stack: JavaScript, HTML, PHP, CSS. That's just the code for
Can you get a coding job at?
No, remember the coding job is again DEI. SSDEI. Always remember that. DEI. They don't give a fuck about white people. They don't care. Maybe if you're a Spurge, they spot, hang on a minute, this guy is off. He's a Spurge, we can exploit him. That's possible. But if you're self-aware like me, that catches the fucking tricks, they don't want that smoke. They just like, remember the cafe job. You're out. See you later. I mean, look at the excuses they gave me. Your attitude is bad. This is what they said. And then they made up they made up some incident where one of the customers was offended by the way you went round the back, or so. That was literally what they said. That's insane. They're just making shit up, right? Does Denmark guy know that the lead waitress stole my tips for one day? She didn't give me tips for Wednesday, right? She just didn't give it to me. I was like, "Where's the fucking tips?" She said she bold-faced lied.
Is the tips tax-free?
She said, "I've given them to you." She literally doesn't. We're dead to them. We're absolutely dead to them, right? She's willing to lie, bold-faced, and I was like, "What the fuck?" She lied. She didn't give me anything.
Knowing that you lied, straight-faced, while I cried, still I look to find a reason to believe. It's like the bitch who didn't call me back. Oh, I'll call you back. She couldn't give me a reason why she wouldn't hire me. So you're complaining about what? Are you talking about the manager? I went to get a beer. You're talking about the manager lady or the one who wouldn't hire you for that accounting job?
No, there was loads that don't hire me, but yeah, the bitch, the mid bitch, the 5 out of 10 cunts who didn't take it, who was boss woman, millennial boss woman, who was really bad at the job. She tried to fuck me over with this thing. And, after that, I wasn't looking at her. I wasn't responding to what she's saying. I literally shut her out. Yeah, didn't say hello or goodbye in the morning. Nothing. Right. And then she stole my tips. Crazy stuff. Absolute cunt. This is what I'm saying. These ATIQ cunts that have the managers. That's what you've got to look out for in the cafes as well. They're absolutely everywhere. Almost every manager you'll meet is retarded in these. The only play in these environments is 24 hours a week. Go in, lampoon them, leave. That's it.
That's what I want to do. I would still work a little bit. If the job goes shit, I quit. If they fire me, who cares? I still have my safety net to fall back on. Denmark guy muted himself. I actually want to change topic for a minute because I'm getting tired. I've enjoyed this. I might get off soon, but I want to ask you both. Let's go back to the original theme. Danny, you found that video that Aiden sent you. It was Aiden who sent you that video from Todd, that recent video?
Yes, he is a Toddist. He's very much a Toddist.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I spoke to Aiden a few weeks ago, and he was telling me he told me what he told you. I was jealous. I wish he'd come on and tell his story. Next time you see him, tell him, come on. He was granted, because he's a Canadian, he gets X amount from the Ontario government, the province, Ontario. Now he's getting more from the Confederation, the federal government of Canada, and he's also getting something else, like his rent is paid. So he only works like a week, like a day, like you said, a day or two a week. So I would love for him to go on the show. I'm always happy to hear, even though it's a different country, I'm always happy to hear positive meat stories. But the point I'm getting at, so next time you see Aiden, tell him I want to come on at least once. If he wants to talk to Cassandra, fine, we'll make that happen. But I'd love to hear him talk more about the meat bucks, even if it's a different country. But more importantly, I want to know what you and Denmark guy, think about the new Todd video, just out of pure curiosity. Because I'm like you said, like Aiden's a Toddist, I'm a Toddist. Thank you for sharing that with me, Dev Pike. I wonder where that came from. I don't know the origin of that video, but I don't know what you guys think. Denmark guy, you can unmute yourself now.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if he's in the bathroom. I'm going to kick him off until he comes back. He muted himself. I can't unmute him. He turned his mic off, so I don't know what happened, but okay. Well, I guess we're done with Denmark guy then. All right. So what do you think? What?
He's definitely not a Toddist, but Aiden's right. Aiden's right up your alleyway. He's neating to the max. He's
yes. And from what, like I said, I hadn't. Aiden and I, he used to come around. We haven't been in touch, but he contacted me a few weeks ago, and he was telling me about that. And I even said to him, I'd love for you to come on and just share that, even if for a few minutes, because I'm always happy to hear a neat story, even if it's a different country. It doesn't affect me. He was talking about he gets $800 from Ontario, extra $200 from the Canadian government. All his shit's paid, his food, his rent, and he can work a couple days a week. So I was like, congratulations. I wish you would elaborate on that. So I'd love to hear that story. So yes, I even said he's basically like Todd, but with a different personality. I like Todd's personality better, but yes, Aiden is in many ways the younger Canadian version of Todd. Yes.
Yeah, but you don't understand. You don't know even you don't know the whole story. Aiden's got now a different, even more. You know the supplementary thing that I told you about.
Well, he himself told me about it. You heard more? Go ahead.
He's getting an extra $200 a month on top of what he.
Right, that's what I'm saying. 800 from Ontario. Right, 800 from Ontario. 200 from Canada straight, plus unrelated to that, his food and rent is covered. I'd love for him to come on and explain it because I'm American, you're British. We don't know how it works there. I'd love for him to come on and just take 5-10 minutes and explain his Canadian neat bucks. But
yeah, I mean he's I remember he's got a second. He's got more on top of that, 200 more a month.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
recently applied. He's got 800 back payment. Not so bad.
No, that's what I said. It's a neat success story. A different country doesn't apply to me, but I'd still love to hear his story. So tell him, come on once and just tell his story.
I've asked him already. I'm already ahead of you. It's fine. But the point is that he. I mean, you had a clash, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. That's the reason why he's not coming on. But
he's very petty. He is like Todd. It's all or nothing with him. But okay, go ahead.
Possible, but he's like the Chad version of Todd. He's the Chad Nate. I
don't know. See, here's the thing. Aiden works out. He's ripped. He's got a nice set of hair, like me. But I don't think he's that tall. He might even be shorter than I am. He doesn't have the height. I wouldn't call him a Chad. I mean, I don't know. Because if he can't get a girlfriend, I don't think he's that good looking in the eyes of women. So I wouldn't call him a Chad Todd. I would call him like an alternate. He's a schizophrenic version of Todd.
You put his height wrong. He's 6'2". This guy is...
All right, fair enough. So 6'2", full head of hair, in good shape. You still can't get a girlfriend. Either it's a total mental case with the schizophrenia, or he's not as attractive. I wouldn't call him a Chad. The way he's turned out, I would not call him a Chad. I think it's incorrect.
It might have been hyperbolic, but what I'm saying is that compared to Todd, he's probably a Chad. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying. Also, Aiden's kind of this guy who shows you how cooked the daily market is. This guy's 6'2", 240 pounds or whatever the fuck he is. He's a big dude. He's not. There's no way he's unattractive. He's normally.
There's no. You sound like Denmark guy. Denmark guy was like, OC's not ugly. There's no way Aiden's attractive. We're guys. You'd have to ask a bunch of women how they think. And I mean, if you can't get a girlfriend, it's blatantly obvious how they think. So it doesn't matter if you think Aiden's good looking or if Denmark guy thinks I'm good looking. It's irrelevant what men think of men. Well, that's what I'm trying to impart onto you. It's not like a simple mathematical equation. If women don't find him attractive, then women don't find him attractive, regardless of what you or I or Denmark guy think. Men still struggle with this very basic concept. It doesn't matter what we as men think. If women say, get away, then, yeah, he's clearly unattractive to them. The goal is to attract a woman, not another man. So I still stand by. I disagree with you. I still think you and Denmark guy don't get that.
This is all true, but the problem is that he's had women in the past. You don't change your fucking physiology.
Well, so is Todd, and so have I. If you want to be honest, ear cells. But the point is, well, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but not fat sub-3 women. He's had top tier.
But if Aiden is still struggling, he's either a mental cell or he's not as attractive. Two women, as you want to believe, is what I'm saying. It's not about you and me. It's
that he shows you that the dating market has changed over 10 years, in my opinion, right?
Okay.
Over time. He shows you the timeline of, hang on a minute, that the standards are getting parabolic. He was good enough then. He was thinner then as well. Good enough then. His face can't change in 10 years to become grotesque subhuman. So how is it that 10 years, he's basically a Chad at 20. Now suddenly at 30, he's cooked. The market's changed. He hasn't changed.
No, that's where I disagree. If he was really ugly to women, he wouldn't have been on the market. Yeah. If he was a Chad, he'd still be on the market. I think what we're seeing is that the level of attraction keeps rising. 10 years ago, he was a normie, high-tier normie, maybe a high-tier normie. I don't know. He was 10 years ago, he was passable. 10 years on, he's now below that threshold. So had he been an ugly fuck to women, he would have always been rejected. Had he been a Chad, he'd still be loved. If you're in that gray area, 10 years ago, it was still accepted. He was just at that cusp, and now he's below the cusp. Hence, he wasn't totally ugly to women, but he wasn't ever a Chad because he'd still be on the market if he was a Chad. So we're seeing how the bar keeps raising, and people who would have been passable 10 years ago are now too ugly. We're seeing the bar rising. I think that's what you're trying to tell me. I think that's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I said.
No, you kept saying he was a Chad. I wouldn't go that far. You're too gratuitous with terms like Chad and Stacy. You're too liberal with these terms. He was never a Chad. A Chad would be able to survive in any environment. He was a higher tier normie who is now below the threshold. Okay.
You didn't listen to what I said. I said a Chad compared to Todd. Doesn't mean Chad. Also, I use Chad very, very loosely, like you say. Don't get hung up on that. A Chad compared to Todd could be anyone over 5, basically. So what I'm saying is that he shows you that the normal man, the sub 7 guy is getting cooked, right? That the Overton window is shifting so fast. This guy in 10 years has gone from fucking
right. The bars. No, I agree.
It was Becky's, by the way. It wasn't like they're not a joke level. They're not sub 4s. He wasn't going around with goblins. He was going around with good white women. Yeah. But now he's not struggling because he's not actually trying, but he's not getting any opportunities that I know of with these same women. So it shows you that it's like a case study in how the dating market's is getting fucking unbelievably cooked. So you're right to stay in your basement. That's it.
Right, but then my question is, that's basically what Todd was saying in his 2-minute video, 3-minute video. So where do you disagree with Todd? Because Todd's basically saying, I'm an ugly fuck it, I'm a spurred weirdo fuck up in my 40s. I might as well just say fuck it, stick it. In other words, where do you disagree with Todd? You're basically just reiterating what Todd said in his most recent video.
No. Where I disagree with Todd is that he doesn't even want male friends. He's spurged out and he's isolating himself from everyone. This is retardation. Because there's people like me who don't give a fuck what you look like. Because, like you said, I attacked Xenesis at the start, but then I forgave him. I don't care about what he looks like. It's the actions. His actions said, hang on a minute, this guy knows the black pill. Also, I know you and Xenesis, completely different spectrums. Yeah. I don't care. I'm just interested.
Completely different faces too. But okay, but yeah. But okay, but I hear what you're saying in general. But forget about me and forget about Xenesis. With Todd, you think Todd's self-isolation is detrimental because what? Because I do agree with you. I think while looks are very important, if you're in this community, I hate that term. We don't really give a fuck. We know who and what Todd is. What's the problem? So you're saying that Todd shouldn't be so hiding of his face, or what is your criticism of Todd? Is my question.
I'll give you an example with the way he's interacting with me. I've been nothing but sweet, nice to Todd, trying to engage, no engagement, zero, narky angle.
Well, in fairness, I'm not even trying. I know Todd is my hero, but he's not deliberately ignoring you. He's like that with everyone. He's not really engaging with anybody. So hold on. If he was engaging with me and Denmark guy and whoever, DBF and Chris Dubs, but not you, then I understand it. But it seems like he's at least an equal opportunity discriminator. So that's my one gripe, is that it's not like it's specific to you. You know what I mean?
That's my point. I don't really care about whether it's with me or with you. The point is that I don't really care whether he's friends with me or you. I'm just saying
saying no. You're missing the point. I'm saying if he was friends with one person but not another, you could say, okay, Todd's ignoring me. He's shut himself off from everybody. So at least he's applying his philosophy fairly, egalitarian, equally. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to say. It's not about one person. He's not discriminating against one over the other. He seems to be an equal opportunity, leave me the fuck alone guy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really care whether it's towards me. It's like you said, it's a network thing. He's ignoring everyone. That's my point. You don't know that everyone's a lookist. It's ridiculous. And like me, people like me who aren't trying to punch down. He's eliminating friendships like that. Okay, why? Not just me, DUM, whatever, whoever else you want to know, you want to name. I don't really care who it is. He's doing it in a network way. This is retardation. He's assuming things that aren't real about everyone, especially in this space. He's going to meet some people who are actually all right. I mean, this space is the only shot he's got to meet someone that's all right. So he's shooting himself in the foot.
That is true. I don't give a shit what he looks like. I still respect his philosophy. Probably because if you were a good looking Chad, I'd be like, who's this guy? But I guess because he's an ugly fuck, Spurg, I trust him more. So I hear what you're saying. In this space, he actually has a chance. It's the one place where people would look past his looks and say, "We're happy to have you." But he seems like he wants to remove himself for various reasons. You're saying what? He's just so hung up on the lookist thing that he can't even accept the one space where lookism kind of doesn't matter in a way.
That's what I'm saying. It has whatever you say about, I can go it alone, bro. It just doesn't work. It's like saying I can survive without oxygen, bro. So, yeah, after 3 minutes, you're in trouble. Look at his incels.is posts. He's spurging out on that. He wants the human contact. He wants to.
And you can say he's used that forum to replace YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm going to post on this. Right.
Yeah, it's a crap replacement. It doesn't work. There's no two-way. He's just posting into the void. It's crap. There's no conversation. He's just posting, and then where's the response? Where's the back and forward? There's no. It doesn't count as interaction. That's why I like talking to you on Discord, because I want to have some kind of backwards and forwards. I don't really care about, well, even on YouTube, really. But you've got to have a conversation with someone. You can't just shit post. That's not. Yeah, this is where you get into retarded. The truth doesn't matter, bro. You're in a delusion that this is interaction. And also, this just reduces your. It increases the nihilism, right? So you're in this trap of nihilism. You're going down.
Well, while that's true, like I said, Todd is. You're right. The government could pull the rug out from under him, but for now, he's in a nice, safe, white, affluent suburban area, and so he kind of has it made. He's not unlike Dragon Lord Frodo, who's on Neat Bucks in the middle of downtown. But I don't know if you know who that is. You know, Dragon Lord Frodo is from the same area, but whereas Todd lives in a nice suburb, Dragon Lord Frodo is in a freaking apartment building, flats as you'd call them, a block flat with a bunch of niggers. So Todd is lucky. My brother and I always say he's so lucky he didn't just get Neat Bucks. He got Neat Bucks in a very safe, clean, healthy area. If he were needing in fucking Buffalo, downtown Buffalo, he'd be like, oh my God. So you look at Dragon Lord Frodo and you say, oh my God. Todd really went down to arena. So in a way, he has the luxury of checking out and saying, oh, fuck it. I'll walk my trails. Needs to talk to anybody.
Yeah, that's the point. Maybe in real life, what I'm saying is that an internet relationship is far better than nothing. You can do both at the same time. You could be a neat with a load of friends on Discord. It'll be a load better than being neat shit posting on incels.is and whatever the fuck else he does during the day. That's my point. He's going down psychologically. He's the architect of his own demise.
Well, I think somebody should go visit him to figure out what's going on, knock on his door and say, hey, man, can you at least give us an explanation? So I'd like someone out there in YouTube land to DUM's already been there. Someone else needs to take up the torch and go up to Buffalo, Amherst. And
you outed yourself because you're one of the closest people to him.
Well, I think actually, even though Aiden is in a different country, I think Ottawa is closer to Buffalo than New Jersey. So I think Aiden could probably visit him more easily than I could.
That's bullshit. You're 5 hours drive away.
Six and a half. Six and a half. How far is it from Buffalo to Ottawa? How long? Because I think Aiden's closer. What?
No. Aiden's 5 or 6 hours from New York, but New York is a different kettle of fish to Buffalo.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
And he's got to cross a boundary.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm saying geographically, how far is it from Ottawa to Buffalo? I think Ottawa is closer.
It's way further. I've just explained. He's 5 or 6 hours from New York, so he cannot be.
No. See, New York City. What are you talking about? I live close to. I'm within an hour of New York City. Buffalo is 6-7 hours away. How far is it from the city of Ottawa to the city of Buffalo? Not to New York. You keep saying New York. You don't even know what New York is. We're talking about New York State, New York City. How far from Ottawa to Buffalo? I think Ottawa is
I know
closer.
what New York. No, I know what New York is. I know
It's okay. It's forget it. You don't get North American geography. I understand. No, I think Ottawa is closer to Toronto. I'm sorry. Ottawa and Toronto, for that matter, are closer to Buffalo than I am to Buffalo. Yes. Todd lives in New York State, but the city of Buffalo is nowhere near New York City. I live in New Jersey, different state, but New York City is right there. I'm close to New York City. I'm like 6-7 hours from Buffalo. So we're talking about the city. Don't stop saying New York because I don't think you know what New York means. Okay, but
No, I know what New York means. New York City.
yeah, but Todd's in Buffalo, New York State. He's in the state of New York, not the city. 6-7 hours. Me in New York City, we're 6-7 hours from Todd. I think Aiden is actually closer geographically.
He's about 5.5, but he's got to go.
I'll look it up. Okay. So anyway, the point is, what were we talking about?
I can see the map, bro. You're not very far away at all. You're splitting hairs. Just go on the fucking car. 5 hours is nothing.
Ottawa to Buffalo. I'm trying to look here. All right, you're right. Ottawa down to Buffalo is about 5 hours. Okay, I guess in a way, because you got to go around the lake. I'm guessing. Well, Toronto is much closer, but I'm guessing Aiden and I are kind of equidistant. Aiden's probably about an hour or so closer, but yeah, it's a trek to see a guy who doesn't want to see me. So why even go there? I'm gonna have Aiden. I'm volunteering Aiden for this.
You live in a different fucking country. It's way hard. That's bullshit. You're just a. You can't be a true Toddist if you're not willing to.
I know. I'm such a Toddist. I want to admire his wishes to be left alone. I don't want to bother the man if he doesn't want company. Out of respect.
By the way, I've got an idea. Todd should run these neat courses in person, like some kind of classroom. Yeah. I know what should happen. He should advertise these neat courses like with some kind of a pseudonistic name, like I don't know, some kind of self-help guru and some kind of self-help guru name, yeah, where he teaches people how to be neats in America. Do you think that would work? Well, he documents his whole life.
That's kind of, sort of what he did, kind of. That's why I was drawn to him. That's what he used to kind of do.
Yeah. He's like the high priest, and he's got his own denomination. He's got his own religion, yeah, and he's got all this paraphernalia behind him. And he comes in through smoke, yeah, dressed in these robes, like he's the second coming of Jesus, yeah. And he comes in, and there's just you standing there, listening to a talk. Do you think that would take off? Do you think that's an enterprise that would work?
Well, no, it's funny. Here's the last thing I'll say about Todd. He meant different things to different people. I think it was even Xenesis who said, I admired Todd because he was a spurg who got on neat bucks. DUM admired Todd for different reasons. DUM liked him because he was a lonely man who couldn't get a woman who was all bitching about women. People these young kids in your country who have been on neat bucks all their life, they wonder what they're going to be like when they get older. So we all saw different things in Todd. I admired the neat philosophy. DUM admired here's a loser guy who can't get a girlfriend either. He's upset like I am. DUM wasn't interested in the neat part. He was interested in the women part. And you got even people from your country who are in their 20s, can't relate to Americans or middle-aged 40-somethings, but they're neat bucks in England. What am I going to be like when I'm older? And they look to Todd for comfort. So Todd was like a multi-faced pope. He meant different things to different people.
Do you think Todd provides comfort or horror to these people?
Well, to me, it was comfort. I think to DUM it was comfort. I think to everyone it was comfort, because why else would you watch the guy if he provided horror? Why would you watch him?
Rubbernecking, etc., etc.
Well, tell me, Danny, what do I provide to you? Horror, comfort, neither. What do I provide? Just conversation.
This is what I believe Todd needs. Some kind of someone to bounce your ideas off about the black pill and the nature of lookism. That's what he needs. Someone to intimate, someone coming back with some new ideas, all this kind of. That's what's valuable. You need to share the experience. It's therapeutic. Think about it. If you don't have this in real life, you've got this pent up rage and lack of empathy from the public and women. You can't even intimate any of this with anyone. It becomes a bizarre existence where you have the talking board.
I hear what you're saying, but I think Todd. You can say you ever hear there's an expression. It's lonely up top. Todd didn't have a Todd of his own, so people looked to him, but I feel he felt he couldn't look to anybody because he was top of the mountain. There was no one above him. So we can look up to Todd or whoever, but I guess Todd didn't have a Todd of his own. So maybe that's part of the reason for his alienation. He felt like he didn't have someone above him that he could do to that person what we did to him. He couldn't venerate or look up to somebody.
Yeah, but this is where Todd's ego comes in. Todd believes he's God, right? So he's believing in his own hype that he knows everything about the black pill and every kind of ancillary area. I call bullshit. As you know, you can never know enough. There's always someone with a different angle. There's always a Jack Tisson who completely torches Todd for IQ in a lot of different areas if you actually listen to his live. Believing in your own hype is huffing your own farts. He's cooked. That's also my thing about him being narcissistic. I don't buy that he knows everything because I see the gaps. That's it. And him not being able to talk to someone, what if someone comes up with something? Me and you have said things that he's hasn't come up with before, and then he goes silent. There's no interaction. It's like he's being affronted. He's not accepting. It's a normally take. I know everything, bro.
And that's one thing. While I have great respect for Todd, I've called him out in certain things, and I would get the backlash of his followers who would say, "How dare you question Todd? Who the fuck do you think you are to question our Lord and Savior?" People used to come after me just for asking a simple question. So I don't know if Todd doesn't want to be acknowledged or his fans don't want acknowledgement. I don't know what it is, but I've questioned Todd, and I've gotten backlash not so much from Todd himself, but from his followers who you can't ask the master that question.
No, but yeah, I agree. Also, part of the silence, him not wanting to speak to other people is this narcissism. No one has any value to me. I know everything in this. Yeah, of course you do, mate. Yeah, right. Because you're God. It's garbage. He's buying his own farts again. It's garbage. I don't buy it. There's always something you could learn, and also the exchange is valuable because you're talking to other people. I just don't. I think you should make the best. I mean, you should make the best of your situation because, well, if you don't, you'll be in the nihilistic valley. That's essentially what it is. Everything's better than the nihilistic valley.
Right. So to sum this all up, you feel Todd is in a nihilistic valley. What do you call nihilistic? Americans say nihilistic. You feel he's in a nihilistic valley, so to speak?
Of his own making, yeah.
Okay. Well, now, I'm going to kind of slightly change topic. Regards to exchanging ideas, when do you plan to stream again? Are you going to get Jack Tisson on your stream?
Well, we can hope to get Tisson because he's very busy. He's always got a lot of irons in the fire. He's you worship Tisson the way I worship Todd. Okay, so he's your god. Okay, I got it. Okay, so poor Tisson. You saw the poem that he made up. How is that not literature?
I think it would mean more to me if I were British. It would mean more to me. It seemed like something written by a member of a dying empire more than anything else. But that's not neither here than there. What I'm really asking you, Danny, is
we're in a dying empire. That's not
for what you said about exchanging ideas, not ending up in this nihilistic valley. What do you plan to stream again? I mean, do you want to share?
I'll do a Halloween stream, a special stream.
I can't always take the helm here. I can't always. I enjoy doing this, but every now and then I want to be the starling. I want to come in and be the guest. So maybe I like to. But you had. I'm not trying to criticize. Your stream. You had Zenesis and Aiden and someone else. People I knew already. I'd love to watch a stream of yours with some new blood. When you pick, I don't mean this as a criticism, but it's kind of like if you piggyback off of me, well, I can talk to Aiden or Xenesis whenever. I want to see some new blood. So I'd love to see you talk to Tissin or someone else that I don't know, because you talking to the people that I've already talked to is kind of like kind of redundant. So in the interest of exchanging ideas, I'd like you get like a Tissin or someone else I've never heard of before.
Yeah, I'm working on it. But...
So I can sit there and say, "Oh, I've never heard of this guy, but he brings up some good points. I'm glad Danny brought him on. I'd love to get some new blood."
Yeah, but will you actually come onto my stream? That's the problem.
Yeah, if you let me know when it is, you know if people are going to be there. If it's going to be me and Aiden and Xenesis, there's nothing wrong with that. But I already know these guys. I like to see some new, fresh blood. You know me. You know Aiden. You know all these people. So it's like, well, you can get someone new. What?
So it's a value judgment. If I don't bring on anyone new, that's why you didn't come on.
Not a value judgment. It's more like I don't think sound arrogant. What can you do that I can't? You can talk to Xenesis, so can I. You can talk to Aiden, so can I. I'd like to see something new. You know what I mean? You can bring Todd on. That'd be cool. What? Something original. It's good. Stop. The word is originality. I want to see something original. My criticism of your last stream, A for effort, it wasn't very original. I'm like, okay, he's talking to people I've talked to already. Recycling. I'd like to see some originality. So
yeah, I know, but what about all the artwork? What about the songs? That was original. That's why. If I can't do it.
I'm an originality with guests, people I've never heard of or seen before.
Yeah, but you have to remember the people that we know in this area are spurgers. Sometimes they don't turn up. I did try and get Tiss on, but I can't make him come on.
Fair enough. All right, well, I'll come on. I'll be your guest. You can talk to me.
Also, there's got to be some quality control. I'm not having people like Denmark guy on.
Well, see, I just put you backstage. You don't like that, but this is my stream. I can do whatever I want. When it's your stream, you can do whatever you want. If you don't like Denmark guy, you don't have to have him. You're the host. So yeah, I'll come on your stream, and if you want to put me backstage or not, whatever. It's a point. Is what I'm trying to say. Right now, I'm the host. This is my stream. Denmark guy wanted to come on. I said, why not? What the fuck? That was my call. When I'm the guest and it's your stream, it's your call. I'm just saying, as a viewer, it'd be nice to see some new blood as opposed to Aiden and Xenesis.
Can you show this image?
I'm going to get off soon. Brother Click just left for work. I'm still awake. This is crazy. But all right, I'll show you the image. What is this? What am I looking at here?
This is Bro's.
Bro's who? Is who?
Do you know what Guts is from the anime?
No.
He's a famous.
The face looks like Bro C. I see those shades he's wearing. This face looks like Bro C, but I don't know the cartoon. What am I looking at?
You like the way that I've merged it with the body? It's almost seamless, right? It's.
Well, you took is that an actual photo? Is this all AI, or you took an actual photo and pasted it on? What?
No. I'm totally against AI. I think AI is cheating. You can just make any image.
Okay, then my question is, okay, so can I ask what? Because I asked you once. I was impressed. You had that scene of the guy who gets up. There's a meeting in an office, top floor. He gets up and jumps out the window. And you blurred out the words on the paper. And I said, oh, what program did you use? And you got all defensive. What program did you use to blur out the words on the paper? And what program did you use to edit that together? Would you share that? Or is that your special secret?
No, it was just OpenShot.
No. OpenShot. I have OpenShot. That's more of a video editing program. You didn't use OpenShot for this. Okay, let's start one step at a time. What did you use to make this?
Oh, what this? Oh, that's what are we talking about now? You've just stopped.
How did you take this cartoon and a picture of my brother, his face, and blend them? What program or software or app did you use to blend those?
I thought you were talking about the IT crowd clip, right? So
I'm using one at a time. Let's start with this and work our way back. What did you use to put this together?
This is Paint.net.
I use that too. Paint.net. Okay, you're getting better because I used to get upset with me. Your earlier efforts were kind of. This looks better. It looks well blended. What did you use? What did you use to do the? I could probably do that. What did you use to put? Because you had a moving image of the guy jumping out the window, but you blurred the paper for some reason, even though it was from a TV show. Why did you blur the paper, and what did you use to blur the paper?
That was already blurred out. I just took the image.
Really? So you didn't add those black blurs? I thought you added those.
No, I got there's a site called Giphy, where you can make GIFs.
Oh. Okay. I thought you did that. That's what I was asking. Like, remember the one time when I did that video where I went to go see that, I went for that drug trial. It took forever for me to blur like the paperwork. I found out how to do it, but it took forever. So I was just curious how you blurred it. You're saying you didn't blur it. It came pre-blurred. It was blurred to begin with. Okay. That's all I'm asking. I'm not judging. It came blurred to begin with. Okay. Now it makes sense. But yeah, I'll have to show this to Brother Click later. I think he'll like it.
Yeah, he might know who it is, but anyway, it's just a joke as usual with most things.
Oh, no, I'm not offended. So this was paint.net. This image was paint.net. But the blurring of the paperwork in that video was already pre-blurred. Okay, now that answers the question. Now I got it. Okay.
No, that's the point. I only use free programs because I'm a low income spurge. I can't afford Adobe. Adobe is very easy to do all this shit on, but it takes skill to do on paint.net, where you have to manually. I like Paint. It's better because it takes some skill. I don't like the AI where everything, DBF claims to be an artist and he just punches fucking keywords. No, that's not artist, bro. You're just punching keywords into AI. Make this image. That doesn't count. Also, if you say it's so easy, do it yourself. I want to see images yourself of these. If you think it's so easy, you try it. Now I want to see the result. Right? You claim it's easy. Let's see it. Let's see the result.
No, I agree with you. AI can be impressive at times, but you're just basically telling it what to do. Yeah, it's good to use a little skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also you can't exactly you can't get the image you precisely want. It spurts out things randomly. You can't pinpoint exactly where the head goes, all this kind of stuff, right? You can't get it exactly where you want it, right? If you wanted something very precise, you couldn't use AI because it won't allow you to do well, not that it won't allow you, but it just won't match 100% what you want.
What you want? No, I understand.
If you want something in the left-hand corner that's facing east and all, you can't do it. It has, well, unless you, I don't know, the prompt would be like 100 lines long or something. Maybe if you spurged out totally, it could do it. But I just think it's better to have more control, in my opinion. So what's happening with the job front? I've done 25 applications this week and I've got nothing. What about you?
This is what we talked about at the beginning of the stream. I'm winding down. With DUM is going through the same thing I am. No one calls you back. DUM, of course, is a foreigner in a foreign land. I'm a spurg with no talent, but DUM can now understand what I go through, what I call cognitive empathy. He knows what it's like to walk in my shoes, where no one will hire you even for a shit job. Me because I'm a talentless spurg. Him because he's a foreigner with a visa that they don't like. So same front, same. And yet stories in California and in Florida. A truck driver made a lorry driver did something totally crazy, killed a bunch of people. Oh, he's a foreigner and illegal. So they give jobs to illegal aliens, not even legal immigrants. Illegal immigrants get jobs, but it's incredible. So yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't understand. Also, the Australian system seems very bizarre, doesn't it?
I'd like more clarification because he's on a bridging visa. How long does that last? If he gets married, he's still on a bridging visa. Is a bridging visa? Is it a few months or a few years? We can't get a straight answer. I'm starting to think he himself doesn't quite know. But but he was saying how it's true in this country too. If a foreigner is sponsored, they can get a job. But it doesn't explain how illegals who couldn't be sponsored get jobs. So I understand. But the point is, he claims his bridging visa limits what he can do. Even crappy low-end jobs, they won't hire him. So I don't know what's going on. Next time I stream, I'll have to have him on. But go back and watch the beginning of my stream. I played my my back and forth with him.
He doesn't know, as per usual with normies. They don't know. They just it's guesswork. No, but
right.
I don't understand. I really don't get the fact that it's a bit. Well, it's not like being a doctor, but if you're a doctor in one country, have the qualifications, have been a doctor for 10 years, how can you not do the job in another country with a very small training program? It doesn't make sense. How can you have been a truck driver in America for that long and then say, hang on a minute, that doesn't count? How does that work? That doesn't. It logically makes absolutely no.
You'd have to ask him. You'd have to ask. I honestly don't know. You'd have to ask him, but that's what he's claiming. And I guess they drive on. You guys in England and Australia drive on the wrong side of the road. Plus, there might be different terms, slightly different things. But according to DUM, he can't even get a job. He can't even get a job driving a forklift or in retail, which I find very strange because teenagers with no experience anywhere get jobs doing that. So
but that's what I'm saying. A month course and you can easily adjust to the wrong side of the road and a few signs change. That doesn't make sense. That's not enough.
Well, I think again, I'm not going to. I hear what you're saying. I would not speak for him. You can just add next time if I have him on one time, or maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe you should see. I just thought of something. Maybe you should see if DUM will come on your Halloween stream.
No, DUM hates me. I don't know what's good. He doesn't respond that much to me.
He's not doing it. Yeah. He's not working. He's at home all day. I think maybe we can get DUM to come on your stream. I'll come on your stream if DUM comes on. How's that sound?
That means you're not coming on because DUM doesn't even respond to me, even though, like you said, he doesn't do anything all day. So he's still not.
All right.
That's why we're done with DUM, maybe, or DUM is done with me. I don't know. I haven't done anything. I just I send him memes and what I make and all this kind of stuff, and I just get a thumbs up, and that's it. Nothing. Anyway, he doesn't. He's too busy talking to Denmark guy, right?
I guess.
What do you think about Denmark guy's position as a leech on his own family?
Well, I guess he sees himself. He sees himself as some sort of caregiver. I guess I really don't know. No.
He's overplaying his hand as a caregiver, which he should already do anyway, right? I do the washing up. Okay.
Well, I wonder if he is he as normie as he says? He claims he's normie tier. He also said I was good looking. It's like this is a guy who has a warped sense of male attractiveness. It's possible he's not as good looking as he thinks, but I don't know. I don't know anything about his backstory. I'd love to see his face and yours. You know what I look like. You know what DUM looks like. You know what Todd looks like. You know what DBF looks like. I'd love to see some more faces. I'm a lookist. I want to see some more faces here.
I've already done it. You're not doing
it. No. You sent me some I want to see you on camera for the world to see with you talking to me in real time. You think about it.
I'm retired from that racket.
How can you be retired from something you were never into in the first place? You've never. It's not like you used to straight. Forget it. All right. Well, we're winding down. I'm going to say goodnight to Danny. I'm going to come in at the 3-hour mark. I want to read a poem. Actually, I want to read a song in poem format. You can't retire from something you never did. At least Todd used to stream and make videos. Now he's given up. You never showed your face, but it's okay. All right. If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. The white horse. Don't ride the white horse. The white horse. Don't ride the white horse. No, no, no. If you want to be rich, you got to be a bitch. You got to be a bitch. I said rich. Rich, you bitch. If you want to ride the white pony. Ride the white pony. White pony, white pony. Don't ride the white horse. Don't ride the white horse. Ride the white pony. And that was White Horse by the Danish group Laid Back. Released in 1983. So yes, the White Horse. And that's an homage, not an homage, an homage to Denmark Andy, Denmark Guy, and Danny Boy. Oh, Danny Boy. All right, I think it's time for me to say goodnight. Thank you for joining me. This was kind of fun. I'm glad, I see this basically as 2 or 3 parts. We talked about the dumb stuff, the job, and empathy, cognitive empathy. we talked about the new Todd video, which I think I might record or download and upload myself to have an extra archive because it's so rare. We don't know the backstory of that. Danny got it from Aiden. We don't know where Aiden got it from. It was on some Nordic Pills archive YouTube. He got it from an archive Rumble, so we don't know where it came from. And then we talked to Danny, and we talked to a Denmark guy, and I think it's time for me to say goodnight. But thank you for joining me. It's been a lovely 3 hours, and as always, I am Occupational Click. You are all loved. You are all beautiful. My God. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Occupational Click. Out.